I put it on my website, the club website. One for another group out of, well, I don't have the note. A wood turning group out of Oklahoma. Yeah, out of Oklahoma. I don't recognize the name of the town. But the guy said, can you post it on our website? Because we want to tell all our members that's where to go get it at. And I did. And I provided the directions on how to get it from us. And it's a big hit. I see we put a bleep out on our Facebook page as to what to do to keep it rolling. And Joaquin puts that note out there because I think people have to realize it wasn't a single time up at bat. We get up at bat every other week. Yeah, and up at bat means we have a change. We have a chance to show some more. I mean, I saw Joaquin Vincent's piece, that offset that he turned. That's an awesome looking piece. It hurts my head to look at that thing. He showed it last week. It's on my Facebook page. And to see pieces like that art came from within us, our group. And he showed us, and that was a challenge from him and another turner. But you can't do this. Yeah, he did it. And it's funny. It's so nice to see those kind of things going on. I wish our own little challenge or program had clicked a little bit better. We couldn't get it to work out. We will one day. We're all volunteers, and we like this to happen, so we'll come up with something. But I like to see what our members do, really do. And it's one of those things where you think you can't do that. Oh, really? You ever tell the wood turner you can't do that? Yeah, it's like telling God your plans. Don't fool around. You can't beat it. So, right. If you got anything to show for a gallery tonight, it's about 5 minutes before the top of the hour. You're with worldwidewoodturners.org. It is your wood turning club. We get together each week to talk about wood turning and just about anything else that comes up. But we always want to see what comes up from your shop. And we know you've got little trinkets out there. And last week, we were wrapping up the evening. I kind of threw some things out there. I said, Easter's not that far away. Was it 47 days away from now? 48 days away from now? Easter's known for bunnies. Can you spin up some bunnies? We've seen a lot of birds. Yeah, lately. Birds be okay, but maybe it's time for us to play a little bit with bunnies, And if nothing else, Easter eggs. Yeah, think about eggs. You can have a lot of fun playing with eggs. Yeah. And an egg inside of an egg, inside of an egg, inside of an egg. That sounds like a Steve project there. Is it Steve Tidwell? And that's who does the projects inside of a project, inside of a project, inside of a project. Yeah. Let's go through an egg inside of an egg, inside of an egg, inside of an egg, Steve. I almost hate to tell him that because then he'll just blow my mind when he comes up with one. His piece that's on the front page of our newsletter is awesome. In fact, if you haven't gone and taken a look at it, that's the recent edition of Woodturners Worldwide, and that's his pieces right there. And yes, that is turned art, and it's fantastic. We got some other beautiful pieces in our edition, and we're always looking for them, and some good tips and hints and things. Oh, and don't forget, March 13th will be a special program here on Worldwide. It's called Tips and Tricks, and this is a chance for you to dig into go way deep into your shop and find those gizmos, gadgets, and ideas that you have that you don't think I have. Yeah, the ones. You created something, you came up with a way to save a little bit of time or a little bit of effort or make something go a little bit different. Yeah, Well, March 13th is the day. We want to see what you came up with. We do this about every quarter. And every time, it's amazing to see what you come up with. And everybody's got something. Everybody's got something. And I think the first time we did that tips and tricks thing is when we were first introduced to Jim Duxbury. And he walked in and stole the show. He really did. Put in his pocket and walked away with it, the whole thing. But it was so good to see somebody who could just come up with things that, you know what I'm talking about. How many years did you use your finger in a pencil to do a 1/8 inch scribe down the side of something, you know, or center a drill bit up, or yeah, you've got those little things in your pocket. I'd like to know what they are. So, okay, Dane's going to handle on gallery tonight, folks. If you got something to show, easy way to do it. It's so easy. Is to put it in chat and say, I've got something to show. We've got about 60 people in the house tonight. We're going to expect another 60 before too long. And they're all here to see what you turned. So I'm going to pop out and Dane's going to pop in and let you jump on board and show everybody the stuff that you turned. Right, boss?
That sounds about
An audio problem.
We're not hearing you.
I don't hear Dane.
Yeah, he's not muted, but he's not.
He isn't talking to us.
having issues.
Okay.
But
There he is.
hold on.
Okay, well,
Dale, you're up.
Dane's showing me right now. My first
You're up, Dale.
attempt at yeah, I'm talking.
I got you.
Here's my first attempt at a ribbon finial made out of walnut.
That's nice.
Beautiful. Nice.
Nice
Now,
first
thank
attempt.
you. First
Very
attempt.
Great.
After watching half a dozen different people doing them on YouTube. And I got a bowl here that I got tired of just doing bowls. So I decided to sculpt one. I did out of maple.
We got a
And
frozen image there, Dale. Keep going, Dale. We got your image is frozen, sir.
I'm still moving.
Yeah.
Well, we
Yeah.
see it frozen, Dale.
Yeah, I saw it freeze there for a minute.
Thought this only happened to me.
It froze for a minute, but it unfroze.
It still froze here.
Still
Yeah,
froze.
it's still froze here.
Bad news is, Dale, it's only your face we see.
Well, then maybe I better get out of the meeting and get back in then.
All right,
And
we'll come back to
We'll
you.
come back to you.
And a motion blurred spiral ribbon
All right.
finial.
Let's go back to Brenda.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
We hear you.
Yes.
Yeah,
We
we
hear
hear
you,
you.
Brenda.
I had a good day today. Check this
That's
out.
good.
I made 4. Whoops, about dropped one.
I like this. I like this. I like this. Look at those things.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
These
Oh, very nice.
4 of these
So-
door pulls for my new cabinets for my new laundry room.
Cool.
Nice.
Those are fantastic.
I
Those are
love
very
them.
nice.
They look great.
Beautimous.
I got about 1,000 pin blanks out there, and none of them are the same. I found 2 of one kind and 3 of another, but none 4. So I
What
had
did you say those are for, Brenda?
my new laundry room cabinets.
No, see, you know how you always look at all of our grain and our stuff and you find new stuff? So I'm looking at those and I don't see door pulls on a cabinet. I see self-defense weapons. Just put one in each hand.
Like this.
There you go.
Oh, Doug. No.
And you can always lie to the sheriff. Look, I'm just rebuilding my kitchen. No.
I had to
Those
cut
are
down
cool.
a board to make these. These are made
That's
out of
all right.
zebra wood.
Oh, beautiful.
More like
Very nice.
marble wood to me, but the board that I cut up said zebra wood, so.
Mm-hmm.
And also, then I also got 2 more picture frames done today.
Nice.
Check out this. Let's see, which one is it? Can you see the curling in this one? Maybe not.
Yeah.
My daughter saw the picture of those the other day. She said, "Dad, are you gonna do those too?" You know,
Love them. I got 2 more. I've made a total of 7 of these now.
Well
And
done.
then I made, check these out,
a
my
plastic
shoe
bag.
covers. Put them over your shoe like that, your foot. Sawdust out of them, like Bob Grinstead's got.
There you go.
Haters.
How big are your feet?
Oh, it's still on with, it touched the floor on both sides.
Put them both
There's
under
no
that one.
sawdust
a
going
wo-
into your shoes.
That's a one size fits all.
I
You
love them.
cover both of them.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to make them forever. Since I seen Bob had them.
There you go.
And finally found something to make them out of. This,
So hey, Brenda, how did you make it?
I just laid it over my shoe and cut them out.
Okay.
And then took some tape and taped it around my ankle.
That works, doesn't it, Brent?
Yes, it does. It didn't keep the sawdust out of my shoes today because I turned before I made them. But I ain't gonna get no more sawdust in my shoes. So thanks, Bob.
I remember that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I love them. That's all I got today. Oh, this kit I found at Rockler's on clearance for $1.98.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was on the cabinets before?
What's that?
What was on the cabinets before?
Nothing. I just had them made. They just got put up last week.
Oh.
So that's all I got, guys.
Very cool.
Looks
Right
great.
on. All right, so sound check. Am I coming through okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sounds great.
Right on.
Thankful.
All right, let's must be Ruby's turn because Brenda went first.
Yeah, she planned that out.
Plus I'm doing it on purpose for her.
I took up a new art medium with the intention of trying to figure out how I could work it onto either a vase or a hollow form. But and it was drawing with pastels. So you use these pastel pencils, and the ends, the pigment, are really soft. They're like a chalk, a very soft chalk. And I got frustrated because the first time I tried to sharpen them with a pencil sharpener, the ends just totally disintegrated. And I found a knife didn't work. So I went downstairs and I put my SC2 record power chuck on the lathe, and I slid the pencil inside, did it up with the chuck key, and then I took my skew.
I knew that's what he was
And
going
I
to say.
found I could sharpen my pencil quite easily. So you gotta think sometimes out of the box and use your lathe for things other than just making specific things.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You can also do that with your Sharpie markers whenever you blunt them.
Right.
So chuck up your Sharpie marker and then take your skew and then shave that back down to a fine point and you're good to go on your Sharpie.
So these were the 2 items I've done so far with the pastels.
Ooh, that's nice.
Oh,
nice.
Oh yes.
Wow.
So I figured I could
Very
put
good.
an eye inside a hole on a hollow form, or I could have a guy like this or an owl peeking out on the side of a vase or something.
It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful.
That's awesome, Ruby.
In your right hand, you called that something an eye. What would you call that? The one in your right hand?
just a dog's eye.
That's the dog's eye. Uh-huh.
Wow.
That's like
Wow.
photographic quality. That's good.
Mhm.
So,
Very nice.
Well
and
done.
I'll tell you that having this chuck and being able to sharpen my pencils saved my class. Otherwise, I was getting extremely frustrated. And when I
How
bought
many
this,
$1,000 was that pencil sharpener?
when I bought these dome jaws, I found they didn't hold very well. So what I did was I closed them all the way up, and I took I think it was a 5 mil drill, and I drilled a hole straight down so that it created a couple little edges on each of the jaws so that they held really tight.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah. Good.
yeah. I think quite a few people have done that with those jaws,
Yeah,
Ruby.
and yeah, Pete did a YouTube. Pete from Twisted Trees did a YouTube thing on doing that, and I let Record Power know about it as well. So we'll see if they change the new jaws coming out.
What kind of
But
chuck is
I'll
that?
tell you, these were really, really handy to have.
What is
That's
it? What kind of chuck is that?
That's the Record Power SC2.
Right, and I've got a 1 1/4/8 thread on it, so I can use it on my Record Power Herald lathe. But I could put it on my Powermatic or any other lathe.
I got one a few weeks ago. I love it.
So, but now you have another use for dome jaws.
There you go. Dedicated pencil sharpener,
Right, and it works perfect.
right?
Just make sure that your skew is very sharp.
Of course, always. All right, let's go to Mr. Dawson. Al.
Me? Oh, I have to follow Ruby all the time.
Well,
Oh
of
boy.
course you do. If I have to follow Brenda all the time now.
I love this cap. Thank you. First of all, Allie, the little. Oh, here we go.
Aw. That's great, Al.
Cute.
Goofing around.
Oh, I love that.
Oh boy. And then these two little guys showed up.
Who's that?
Yeah, just simple stuff. These ideas are from Steve, New Hampshire woodturner in the UK. That's where I got the ideas. I mean, I don't know, but I thought they were nice and fun. They were fun to make.
They didn't just show up. They didn't walk in. They don't have no legs.
Are those dog ears turned and then split apart?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Nice job.
Yeah, you did a great job on those, Al.
Yeah.
Awesome. Just goofing around like I always do.
Nice
I come
job.
from a family of goofers.
They could have rolled in, you guys.
There you go.
We got little
Oh, a
seahorse.
seahorse.
Oh,
Oh,
Well,
cute. Did a great
That's
job on him.
Yep.
So a bunny for Easter should be a no-brainer for you, Al?
I got to figure out how to make it hot.
Car spring.
I saw Ruby, a little snail.
Oh,
Look at how cute that is.
I didn't do what you did. These are just two golf pins.
I was just gonna ask you.
What Ruby put on Facebook. It was just gorgeous.
They're fun to do, aren't they?
Oh, it was. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. All of this is. Everything is just you know, I say this every week. It's a lot of fun.
Well, what's important is you can also touch the kids in your family and they come around and involve them.
Yeah,
The kids of all ages, I'll qualify that.
there's a lot of gifts everywhere. Now a neighbor, he had a big peach ornamental tree and it blew down last week, and I helped him cut it up and stuff like that. And I got a lot of it. It's really pretty wood, and I thought there was one piece that I thought that maybe I could get, you know, since it was, you know, it was fresh. I want to make a cowboy hat. I've never made one, and here it fell over because the whole thing was a big beehive.
Mm.
The whole, it must have been, this one section right here was probably 6 feet, and the whole thing was a beehive.
Ouch.
You know, but I mean, the wood's going to be pretty. Let it go out. Maybe later on, I'll start putting some silver on it. But you know, I'm just having fun. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Al.
Those are great, Al.
Everybody have a good night.
All right, let's go to one of the Dougs. There we go.
Okay.
Doug.
I wasn't sure where you're going. Anyway.
Doug made something. Doug turned this week.
You know,
Wow.
if I'm forced to, I will, you know. I made my big salad bowl a while back, and Connie has said since the day I did it, that's too big, it's too pretty, you won't eat out of it. And I've eaten out of it now a dozen times. And so the other day she said, you know, I wouldn't mind one to be a little smaller in diameter, maybe a little deeper, but she still wanted walnut. So I fixed her a little walnut bowl.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, look at the beauty.
Roughly 9 by 4. Turned it out, sanded it real good, put a coat of Parfex inside and out, and then abrasive paste and wax. So it's fully food safe. I expect her to eat out of it, if not this week, next for sure.
I really enjoyed being on the live yesterday when you made that. It was a great time. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Matt. It is a good time. You know, just folks sitting around turning and everybody else chatting around, and we just have a good time. So thank you for being there. Thank Ruby and Wayne for being a part of it, but it's always fun.
That's really nice, Doug.
Thank you, Billy.
Very
Bottom,
nice.
I do have it marked in my normal fashion, except I don't have the rings. But anyway,
My offer still holds, Doug. If she decides she doesn't like it, I'll take it.
she does. She does. She likes it real well. But it's got some really cool grain in it. That's just gorgeous right there.
Yeah.
This section through here is phenomenal. Everywhere you look, you see something a little different. But anyway, that's what I did this week.
Beautiful.
All right, thanks, Doug.
Yep.
All right, let's go across the pond, see what Mr. Clasper's got. Wayne.
Good evening, everybody. Well, touching on what Doug has just said, I did my live tonight. The first part was the start of a giveaway. So if you want to see that, go across and have a look at the live. But I just did a very plain sycamore bowl, a little bit like Doug's, to tell you the truth. Except mine is made out of sycamore. It's around about 9 inches by 3 inches. Just a nice plain bowl, finished with lemon oil, which will be food safe once it's all cured and everything. And just a nice, some nice grain in the middle there.
Yeah, very nice, Wayne.
Cheers, Ruby. So that was that's my show for tonight, and I will let you get on with everybody else. And
Right
Thanks,
on.
Al.
Cheers, Dean.
Thank you, Wayne.
Cheers, Wayne. How are you?
Very well, Al. Very
That's
well.
good.
Thank
That's
you.
good. That's good. Nice to see you.
And you.
All right, let's go to Joseph. Got you, Joseph.
Want to be showing in a minute.
Can you hear me?
We got you.
Yep.
Okay. First of all, I wanted to say this is actually my first lidded box I've ever done. So I do kind of like it. It's made out. I can't put the lid all the way on right now because I made it too tight. I want it to be able to come off easy for my wife. But it's made out of alligator juniper. It's smooth on the inside. Nice kind of little bit of a concave bottom. But on the top, I put a inlay of epoxy that's actually, you can actually just barely see through it.
Yeah.
But on top of that, when you get it in the light, it actually glows in the dark.
Oh, very
Cool.
cool.
Wow.
Very
nice,
nice
Joseph.
for a first.
Her birthday's coming up. I gave her a set of wedding rings for Christmas, so this is something for her to put them in. Basically, is all I did. But I got to work on the seal a little bit better. It's a little bit too snug. She won't be able to get it open. It's a good pop seal for my next lidded box, but.
Very
Nice.
good, Joe.
And thank you, Dane, for the advice you gave me a couple weeks ago on that alligator juniper. It was some good wood to turn.
Yep, right on. Right on. I knew you'd like it.
Nice work, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's all I've got tonight, guys.
All right, thank you. All right, let's go to Mr. Woolman. Roger.
Yeah. Okay. I'm still turning some of my walnut. But it has cracks in it.
Beautiful.
So I filled the cracks with black dyed epoxy. And this one was cracked almost all the way across.
Nice save.
Beautiful.
Yeah, very nice. So
Gorgeous.
far. This one is the one that was cracked the worst. It actually comes all the way from here to there.
Wow.
Mm.
Looks great.
So
Nice
Well
job.
done, Roger. Well done.
Nice.
my wife wanted some bowls as gifts, so I had a log downstairs that was cracked. So I figured I'd just start turning it and fill the cracks. So
Well, it looks good. They look good.
Does the
Thank
wife
you.
approve?
What's that?
Does the wife approve?
Yeah,
Okay, that's all that matters. Then.
that's
Great job.
important.
Right. All right, let's go to Mr. Goblets. Hey, Matt.
Well, I've been turning a lot this week. So the first thing I'm going to show is this for Doug Rowe. Made this today.
A weapon.
No, it's not a weapon. It's for rolling my neck out.
Uh-huh.
It's a rolling pin.
And from last week, I've made some progress on the dotting of my mushroom here.
Very
with the
nice.
pearlescent paints, Scott. The dimensional, and they hold their shape.
Awesome.
And then I turned this today. I can unhook it here. Turn this today. Oh,
Cool.
Cute.
little birdhouse with natural
Cute.
edge.
Very
And
nice.
it's got bark on the back, and I'm real happy with the finial.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Look-
nice, Matt.
Thank you.
Looks good, Matt.
So, and that's it. But I mean, I have a bunch of other things in the shop that, are still in the shop where they belong. So,
Oh, that's
In
great.
process, huh?
yep.
All right.
Hey, I have a question for y'all. Has anybody if you turn a tenon, it's just a little bit too small for your jaws. Has anybody got jaw inserts to quickly close that gap up so you can turn something? I'm not talking something big, just something small. I just like
I'll
to see
use-
some ideas.
I'll use thread, sewing thread, wrap around it.
I need more than just thread. I'm like a 1/4 inch too small.
I've used
Oh, okay.
PVC couplers.
Yeah. I
Okay,
was
that's
trying
a
to
good
say-
that's a good idea.
Yeah. Hey,
If,
'cause
if
you
you've got
always-
if anybody has those handy, I'd like to see them later on. Just for my own
I've used split
education.
rings before. You just turn a wooden ring, the hole in the
Yeah.
middle fits your spigot, and the hole on the outside fits the jaws, and then you put a cut in one side of it. So when you close the jaws up, it tightens.
Yep.
Perfect.
That
Thank
can
you.
work.
Yeah,
That's a
that would
great
be
idea.
far
I'll do
easier.
that.
Like a
Yep.
bushing.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Okay. Very, very cool. I'll do that. Thank you.
And Billy Bird suggests you set something on fire, Matt, if you're that chilly.
I was fine in the shop. I bet, it was 40 something in the shop, which is warmer than it's been for a month. And then after dinner, I got chilled. So I'm dressed up a little bit more. So
Okay.
I'm
right.
good. Okay. I'm just toasted.
Well, I'm social distancing from you, okay? All right.
So does anybody
let's-
believe I'm an introvert?
No.
Yeah, about as much as me.
Yeah, and you get it. Listen, Billy's talking. He's back with us again this week.
Yeah,
I
he's
love it,
actually
man.
up next.
It's great to see all y'all this week. So, and I enjoyed yesterday too. Here's Billy.
Look, he's back. He's back.
Yep. I'm
Billy
back.
got a haircut too.
I was here last week too, but I didn't have anything to show.
They'd have been happy just seeing your face, Billy.
Exactly.
And now we want to talk to you about your car warranty.
Well, since I'm up here, I did turn something this week, finally. So it's just a little oak platter. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can. Embellished with some silver Hampshire sheen embellishing wax in the grain. And I tried an experiment with a particular kind of texture on the front. It is textured, but I'm not real happy with it. And I filled it with the same silver embellishing wax. Like I said, I'm not terribly happy. When you do an experiment, sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. This week I was the bug, but next week I hope to be the windshield because I think it's going to come out better. Anyway, just a little.
Nice.
Not much. I'm not terribly happy with it, but I got something turned, which is more than I can say for the last few weeks.
Good
like that
attitude,
size.
good
It's a
attitude.
nice little size.
Glad you're feeling better, Billy.
No, thank you. Me too.
All right, let's go to Mr. Johnson.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, keep talking.
I
Pop to the top.
decided to try to make some hollow spheres this week, and I used the Captain Eddie method. And what I did was I went ahead and hollowed them, then I pierced them, and then iridescent paint on them. Can't really
Can you
tell.
hold them a little further away from your camera?
Yeah, just a second. I'll raise it up a little bit. How's that?
Yeah, that focuses better.
Yeah. But anyway, that was a real challenge because whenever you're piercing something like this so thin, you got to be real careful when you hold it. You can't squeeze it or else it'll break on you, like right here. So, but anyway, this one's made out of basswood, and this one's made out of hackberry, spalted hackberry. So
They're
anyway,
both beautiful.
Wow.
this was a real challenge. It really was to do this without really breaking it. And unfortunately, I dropped this one, but I was able to find a piece of it and was able to glue it back. But anyway, that's what I did this week.
Really looks nice.
All right.
As you can kind of see, it's kind of, you got the iridescent paint on it a little bit. This one's purple and this one's, I don't know what color that is, but anyway, there it is. There it is. But anyway, thanks a lot, guys.
Where'd you
All
get the
right, thanks.
Band-Aid?
Band-Aid Brenda caught you.
Uh-huh. How did you get the Band-Aid?
Excuse me?
How did you get the Band-Aid?
That, I don't know. I woke up this morning and I had a blister on my finger and I don't know how it happened.
From
Of course,
turning.
I'm lucky when I wake up in the morning, I remember my name, you know, but anyway.
It had to
I
been
don't
from turning, so put him in the Band-Aid club.
Yeah. Yeah. I always get little scratches on me all the time.
All right. Thanks, Howard.
You bet.
Let's go to Terry. Hey, Terry.
Right there?
We got you.
Hello. Okay, good. I finally figured out that unmute thing. As soon as you bring me up, it moves the button that unmutes me, and then I couldn't find it. But anyway, I showed these last week, but I finished them up. This was a piece of really wormy pecan that I showed last week, but it was still, I just rough turned it. I just put some poly on it and shined it up. Then this is a piece of pecan that's not quite so beat up. I think I showed it last week too. And it came out pretty nice, except I don't know about that rim. That rim was a lot of work. With the sides all irregular and everything, it's really hard to get it even. When it's just flat, I just lay it on a belt sander and I can get out any problems I got, but you can't do that with that. But it worked out pretty good. But those were ones I did last week. Today I went out and played around. I've been cleaning the shop mostly, but I went out and played around and I made my first duck's jig. And I tried to use it, see how it worked. It needs more modifications, but this is my first shot.
Hard.
It looks
It
good.
worked. It worked. It was an old piece of 2x4 I had glued up laying on the shop. But anyway, it worked pretty good. I got some other ideas on how to change things around a little bit. But the biggest thing I wanted to talk about was a little safety related. And I've got a whole bunch of great big pieces of hackberry, and I'm waiting for them to spald. And I got anxious, and I decided, well, I'll twice turn a couple of big bowls. And I had a piece, and it was pretty big. I had cut it in half, and I was going to turn regular bowls with it. And I put a little piece of plywood on the bandsaw. A lot of times I just cut it with a chainsaw, but I put a piece of plywood on a bandsaw and fixed everything and lined it all up. And I took the piece of wood over onto the bandsaw, laid it down on the bandsaw and went to move it around to get it in a spot. And it completely snapped the whole platform off the bandsaw. And fortunately, it was very, very fortunate that it didn't hit my foot. If it would have hit my foot, I probably would have lost my foot. I mean, this thing weighed 45, 50 pounds. It would have been ugly. But I took the saw apart, and then it's a old grizzly, and I took it apart, and it had the, well, I can't remember what they call them, the parts that make it the dead sort of swivel, and it broke both of them. They're gambles or something, but anyway, I got out the book. I had bought the thing used, and I had a pamphlet that came with it with everything in it, and I looked in there, and lo and behold, they'd already been replaced once. So I had all the part numbers and everything, but I couldn't find it online. But I called Grizzly, and they had them. When they broke before, they were $6. Now they're 30. But anyway, I got the new ones and started putting them back together. And I can see right away that they improved them, and they knew they had a problem. And they probably should have recalled it in the beginning. The thing was so flimsy, and the new ones are 3 times as solid. And but the bandsaw is back together, and thank the good Lord that my foot's still in one place. I was just lucky. I mean, it would have really hurt me. It was a big piece of wood.
That would have
think
put you on
about,
the Band-Aid brigade.
uh,
That would have put you on the Band-Aid brigade.
no, it would have been more than Band-Aids, believe me. They probably would have been calling me Stubby. But, no, it was not good. But anyway, I got the shop all put back together and the bandsaw put back together and spent the whole week taking 4 garbage cans full of shavings out after hollowing out those 2 big bowls. So, but that's all I got. Be safe, everyone, and be careful.
All right, thanks, Terry.
Thanks, Terry.
All
Thank
right,
you.
let's go to Heather. Hey, Heather.
Hey,
Hi,
how's
Heather.
it going? Hi. So I'm not crazy about showing this after seeing Howard's, but there's my pierced piece.
Beautiful.
It's
Beautiful.
made out of
Beautiful.
Manitoba maple. What was that?
Beautiful.
Great.
Oh,
It's
thanks.
very nice, Heather.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's my first one, so it's not the greatest, but it's what I did.
Very well.
This is one I made for my sister. I made a
Oh my goodness.
Really
Yeah.
nice, Heather.
Yeah, that's pretty.
thank you.
Yeah, I like those. Those are fun to do.
Yeah, February is supposed to be for giving to people, right? So I made a little container.
That's excellent.
That's really
The lid
pretty.
snaps on, so it stays on.
Very nice.
And this one isn't quite finished yet. I still have to put a few more coats of finish on it.
Oh my
But I
goodness.
made a little platter.
Yeah, I
Very
should
nice.
say.
Phenomenal.
Very nice.
Really
A little
nice,
bit
Heather.
bigger than Billy's.
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger.
Just a little.
It's almost 17 inches in diameter.
Oh. And that's
What
not
is it?
shiny enough yet?
Not quite.
My goodness.
What's your
I
finish?
might finish it. I might leave it as it is. But I haven't done the bottom yet. I still have to sign the bottom.
That's really pretty. That's
It
really
is
Thank
really
you.
pretty. Nearly
What's your
3
finish?
really
times.
pretty. My
What's
goodness.
What's your
It's
finish?
walnut.
What's the finish?
It is tongue oil.
Oh, gorgeous.
That's
I
really
still have a few. I have a few ripples in there. You can see the center, the circles in the center a little bit, but it's not bad. It's pretty flat.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very
A
nice.
little bit of chatoyance there. Yeah.
Excellent.
I might leave it like it is. I don't know if I'll put another coat of finish on it or not. But yeah.
Sure don't need it.
Yeah, Heather.
That's it.
I'm going to dive in and ask a question, Dave.
Okay.
And I know we have this no but policy, and I'm not going to say no but. I want to enlighten my own quizality or whatever you might call it. It's a question for Howard and for Heather, because you've both done pierced work there. You've both done what I think is absolutely stunning, beautifully pierced, but both of them are coloured. And I'm just wondering why we're colouring what is a natural wood product that a lot of time has gone into, that's taken away the wood look. So it's not a but, it's just a curious. Is there a reason why we have to colour them? Because a lot of what I've seen as pierced work is coloured.
Well, mine, I didn't really like the grain of it. The grain was
Right.
it's a large grain, and it's box elder or Manitoba maple. So the grain wasn't really very nice. So I figured I'd just brighten it up.
Correct. There's nothing wrong with colouring it. I'm just trying to understand myself why, because I see a lot of them coloured. I see a lot of the professional turners' work where they have spent hundreds of hours and then sprayed it black, or they've coloured it white, and there must be a reason for this, because personally I would like to see the wood, because it almost takes it away from being wood. I am quite sure that in the modern day we could probably print something like that in 24 hours with a 3D printer.
That's right. Yeah.
Whereas it's taken you hours and hours to pierce it. But if there was a reason why we have to paint it, I need to know about it. But there isn't a
No,
reason.
if it would have been a nicer grain, I would have left it.
Yeah.
Like box
Howard,
elder
was yours the
sometimes has
same?
box elder sometimes has a flame in it,
Yeah.
and this one had very little flame.
Okay.
So I figured, oh, I'll just paint it. And I painted it black inside, so it kind of gives it a bit of a shadow look. That was my
Howard,
reasoning anyway. Yeah.
Very
Howard's
nice.
the same.
Yeah. I don't know what what his reasons were, but
To see
that
what
was
Howard, because his he's done 2 of them, both the same color.
yeah. And those were super thin, so
Yeah.
this isn't thin like that.
We don't know if we don't ask, though.
That's
No.
right. Yeah.
No, and that's not a question that I've ever asked anybody, but it's always been of curiosity to me. Is it because the piercing is so difficult to do, whereas if there's a bit of damage, you could probably glue it and paint it to hide it, or is it just that people prefer to colour them? Did you colour it before you?
Oh no, I colored it after.
Oh,
See, if you look right
blows
here,
my idea out as well,
where is
because
it?
I figure that you might colour it to be able to see where you want them to pierce it.
Yeah. If you look right here, there's actually a piece that broke out.
Right.
So there's one spot is bigger than the other, but I figured I'd just leave it out.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a great piece of wood anyway.
Super.
So
thank you.
Are the sides of the holes black when you cut them?
Mostly.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
most
just wondered.
of the sides of the holes are black.
It's a great piece of wood now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
It's
I left a little bit of a thing on the bottom for it to sit on.
great piece of wood.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Thanks.
All right.
Lovely
Thanks,
work.
Heather.
Very nice.
Welcome.
Thanks, Mark. All right, let's go to Mr. Davis. Hey, Leonard.
Hey, hello. There's several Davis.
Oh, there we go. So I actually got a couple questions for you guys as well, because so one of the pieces that I've turned is a vase. But the problem I have is I scroll saw as well. So I have test tubes that I buy to hold my blades, which fit perfectly in there, except for I cannot find a drill bit. If it's the right thickness, it's too short. I don't know if there's any place out there that you can buy longer ones. The only ones I can find are like 18 inches, which won't fit in my lathe. So that's my first question.
What size are you looking for?
3/4. It's actually just under that because it's metric, but 3/4 would be fine because then I can glue it in.
By 6.
Howard, I have those 18-inch drill bits, and I just cut them off to the length that I need.
Yeah.
And it makes them a lot longer than the other ones. Just if you wanted 10 inches, cut it off, because it's only drill bit for 5 inches, and the rest is stem.
Right.
You just cut them off.
Just cut them? Okay. I can do that.
I often drill it with whatever I've got, and I stick a flat sander down there and sand it to what I want. Only takes a few minutes, and you make it to fit the thing perfect.
I think the Walt sells 7-inch long drill bits.
Yeah.
I don't know how long you need it. So.
These are just over that. They're like 7.5. So that's where my problem keeps coming in. I can find them 6 inches. I just can't find them quite long enough.
Okay.
Lynn, would a spade bit be too short?
The problem with the spade bit is you have the tip on it. So then you get that.
Get it off.
Yeah.
Do what pipe makers do, and they
cut the tip off and they actually round the end of the spade bit to drill the bowl in a pipe. And that would actually mirror the shape. You could just shape it to mirror the shape of the bottom of the test tube.
Refusing a direct order
I,
from his.
I was just trying to find something that I didn't have to modify. That's all.
I was gonna
Get a drill bit and cut it off.
You know,
What
so
about an extension? Will extension work?
most of the extensions I find won't fit on. You know, they're just on there with an Allen wrench, and
Right, yeah.
they're just they unless you start grinding flat spots in them. So, like I said, I just was trying to find something that I could use. The other thing I turned was a box, which came out pretty good. Again, I had a problem with it because I turned it all as one and then took it apart, set this one to the side, got this one all set. This one had a very nice tight, it wasn't tight, but it snug fit. And then I couldn't work on it for 2 days. I came back and it didn't fit at all. So I had to go back, turn down this so that it would fit. And it was, again, nice, felt good. Set it aside for a couple more days, came back and it was too loose. So
Yeah.
that it's just because I work out of my basement, so it's 50 degrees down there and damp. So
It's still
but
beautiful.
came out nice.
It looks great. Yeah.
Nice.
So this is out of a elm tree that came down in the backyard a year or so ago. And the finish on it is my own finish with mineral oil, beeswax, and carnauba wax.
Very nice.
Nice.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Leonard. Hope your questions were answered. You got a game plan now.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to JJ.
Sorry, Jim Duxbury just asked me a question. I think so, Jim. But I usually use a Forstner bit. But as long as you start, he's asking if a spade bit will drill a burl. I think as long as you have a good start, you shouldn't have any problem. So I'd start with the Forstner bit and then follow with a spade bit if you're trying to get a deeper hole. That's the one thing about spade bits is they love to wander. That's their favorite thing to do. But if you start with a Forstner the same size and establish, 1 or 2 inch depth, the spade will lock in and should drill straighter, at least in my experience. But speaking of burls, so I turned 52 yesterday, and my folks sent me a package that arrived on Monday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And so my birthday present arrived on Monday, and I opened the box and went straight to the shop. I knew exactly what I needed to do. And that's this.
Oh my goodness.
Cool.
Beautiful.
It is 3/16 inch thick all the way. And I'm talking, it is 3/16 inch thick, even the bottom. And it's got a handle. You can just hold it.
That might be your personal record, at least from all the stuff I've seen you made.
I think this is my personal record. This is the nicest bowl I've ever made. This piece of wood spoke to me immediately. I knew exactly what I needed to do with it. I took it straight to the shop. It took 6 hours of work, but this is
How fast were you turning? Do you remember?
When I started, it was very much off balance because this is about 8.5, 9 inches across, and it was probably 10.5, maybe even 11. It was fairly wide and it was not quite cut round. I can tell you this bowl blank was probably sitting in my dad's shop for 10 years. But this part here was really concave, and I was only able to get it up to about 650 RPM until I got it round. While I was doing the outside, though, it never got any faster than about 750 RPM. And when I got to the inside and started getting it hollow, until I got down to about the bottom of third, I didn't go above 900 RPM. I just couldn't. It just was too. It just was still too off balance until I basically got most of the bulk out. I don't think the only time I got it up to 1,000 was when I used the scraper across the bottom. And if you watch the YouTube video, my buddy Jay called me this morning, and he said, when you pulled that scraper out, I thought we were going to watch it explode. And every time, I think I only did 3 or 4 passes with the scraper. Every time I touched it with the scraper, my sphincter got really small.
I'll bet you were hearing a heck of a whistle also.
It was, it was humming, I'm telling you. But it told me exactly what I needed to do. I pulled it out of the box and saw this bowl. I knew it. And I just had faith that I could keep my hands steady enough to make it happen. And boy, I'll tell you what, this is never leaving my home. This is a forever treasure.
That's beautiful.
I'm mighty proud of that bowl. That is
really nice, Joaquin.
Very nice.
Great, beautiful, Joaquin.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
A great video and a beautiful bowl.
Thank you very much.
And happy birthday.
And I've seen at least 3 or 4 or 7 or 10 pieces. Folks, email your photos to editor@worldwidewoodturners.org, please. These are some beautiful pieces. They need to go in the newsletter.
But it's so hard to email it.
You just click attach. I promise you can do it.
Yeah. You got mine, didn't you, Joaquin?
Is that
Doug?
Doug, yes, I did.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, I got you. Empty bowls.
Okay.
And then
I was talking about the pictures.
Matt and I are having a discussion offline, and he mailed me something.
I was talking about the pictures of the bowls that I sent you.
Yes, let me open a folder. I've gotten so many emails.
You have an oak bowl and that walnut bowl.
Yes, the walnut bowl is gorgeous. I think I'm going to put that one in this next one.
Okay, you got it.
All right. Thanks, Joaquin. All right. It's almost top of the hour. Got Safety Sue in tonight, so let's go to Sue and get our safety moment. Sue.
Hi, everybody. Sorry I missed you last week.
No worries. I understood.
I know. Anyways, thank you. Thank you very much. Anyways, I'm banned from the shop till the end of the month, but I'm excited about going back in. So I have to stay in a dust-free environment for the rest of the month. But anyways, I want to talk about our safety on our webpage. The more I get into that webpage, our website, worldwidewoodturners.org, the more I appreciate how much effort and love that has gone into building that website. It truly is the best website out there for wood turning, and everything is free. And they have templates and how-tos, and under facts, they have safety moment. So please, I'd love everybody to go under facts on our beautiful webpage and go under the safety moment. Tonight, I'm going to talk about clothing and our personal care around a lathe. First off, keep your hair short or tie it back and then tie it up, because you don't want anything long coming in the front of you and getting caught in the lathe. You don't want to be scalped. Excuse me. Also, clothing. Try not to wear bulky long sleeves while you're turning. Again, that can get into the lathe, and we don't want your hands to become hamburger. So please do that. Shoes, make sure you have closed-toed shoes. Shoes, boots, not flip-flops, not clogs with holes in them, or sandals or anything like that. If something
Barefoot, Kelly told me earlier he's turning barefooted.
Oh my gosh.
I told on you, Kelly.
He'll be on the
See
giant
on later.
Brenda
not here yet.
Band-Aid brigade. But anyway, let's go on. The first line of defense for you are safety glasses. That's the very first line of defense. The second line of defense for your head is a full face shield. Now those $5 ones you can get from Harbor Freight, and many of us have gone to Harbor Freight to get some inexpensive tools. Those face shields are only for when you're painting. I'm sorry, don't use them for turning. If something were to hit that face shield, your face would be all black and blue. So get a good face shield. There's lots of them out there. A lot of us wear the UVEX. You can get them in any wood turning store or any kind of store that's on the internet. And or get a full face respirator. They're great. Some of them, the full face respirator goes over your head and the power mechanism goes on your waist. Some of them you see their power mechanism or part of it on the head with the filters. And again, the power mechanism is on their side. Or some of them are really heavy and they put everything on top of your head. But regardless, make sure that your breathing and your eyes and your face are protected. Don't go in turn without them. Next thing, let's go with gloves. A lot of people wear gloves. A lot of people take them with the fingers out. But if the gloves are still sloppy, what's the sense of taking out the fingers? Please don't wear gloves. I kind of, when I see it on the internet, I cringe. It's like, oh my God, they're going to get hurt at any moment. So with a lot of newbies on our website, and even the newbies on the website can be experienced turners. Sometimes the more experienced turner forgets little stuff. I've been doing this for years. I can do this without getting hurt. Don't think that. Think of everything. Make a list, a checklist before you even want to turn, and go out there and have a great time. Stay safe, because we all want to see you next week. Take care.
All right. Thank you, Sue.
You're welcome.
I have to say something about that. You know, I've been wearing a face shield all my life. I mean, I wear it every time I do anything, even sharpening. But a couple days ago, I was at somebody else's shop and I didn't have a face shield. And you know, after wearing that face shield for so long, I've lost my natural reaction to blink. And you're actually looking at that thing. And I got hit right in the face with all these chips. And my God, you stand back, it's like, holy smokes. But if you're used to that thing and then you don't wear it, you're in for a surprise because you've lost your natural reaction to blink or stay out of the chips. I learned the hard way. But my hair doesn't get caught. You notice?
Yeah, gotcha.
Hey, Jim, there's a reason why the word accident was put in the Webster Dictionary.
Yeah.
Believe me, you have to believe it. There's a reason why the word accident is in the Webster Dictionary.
I'm sure.
Yep.
There's a lot of words in there, but
accident is one of them.
Yep.
There's a lot more words being put in the dictionary now that I'm wondering about.
Yeah.
Qualifications of the people that's putting in words.
I didn't say it. Anyway. Anyway, nice job.
I got no
sir.
problem saying it.
Nice job, sir.
All right. Thank you, Sue. And thank you, Jim, for that. All right. So it's top of the hour and we are almost we are going to be going to our demonstrator. We have Mr. Grenstad on tap to do a video demonstration. So keep in mind he's playing a video. So it's, whenever he's talking or stating processes that's going on, he's got no ability to respond back to you except for within his live feed here.
Hey,
But
Bob.
as typical with any demo, let's keep your questions and comments until the end of it, and then Bob will be able to answer everything then. So I am going to mute everybody, and Bob, I'll need you to unmute yourself.
Okay, guys. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Dane?
We hear you. We hear you.
We got
Yes.
you.
All right, good. What I've got tonight is a demo. It's about an hour long. Showing you how to, I guess, the steps involved in making a segmented vessel like this one. They're not hard to do. They're pretty fast to make. It's just, doing it. But I don't show a lot of turning in it because there's not a lot of turning. All you're doing is marking, knocking down the inside edges that are kind of sticking out and then sanding it. But let me get that started. And let me see if I can share a screen here. And which screen is he on? Yep. Well, that didn't work, did it? Let me open it back up again. How about that?
You'll get it.
Yeah, is he on here twice maybe? I don't know why he's not opening up.
You got the video playing already?
I don't have it playing, but well, let me
Yeah, you'll need that first.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to do. He's opening it up with something else. And, let me, whoops. So what are y'all looking at? You looking at that screen?
No, we're just looking at you.
Okay, I hope you're not seeing all this other crap out here.
No, we're
All,
not.
all we see is you, and we don't see is the shared screen. It doesn't look like shared screen is working at all.
Well, I'm doing something here that I don't know what he's doing here. Let's well, maybe I don't care about what he's showing there. Let me go back to this.
Why are you talking in third person?
Third person, yeah, I don't know here. Let me go back to documents and videos and
Keep saying he's showing this. Who you talking about?
yeah, I don't know here. Now I don't even have the video. Oh no. Let's go to well, I'm gonna have to, what did I do? Just delete that thing? I tell you what, come back to me because I've got to figure out what's going on here.
This is why I don't do demos.
Yeah, just come back to me, guys.
Yep. Okay. All right. We can go back to doing a little bit more gallery. So let me look for his iPad person. Oh, and they're not there. All right. Let's go to Ray Davis.
All right, I'm here. You
I
got
got
me?
you, Ray.
Yeah, you got me.
Sure do.
Well, I've got an open segmented bowl to show tonight. I started working on it probably a little about Thanksgiving with being sick and COVID and everything else. I finally finished it today.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
My God. That would have taken me a lifetime.
How
Well,
many
I
people?
thought it was going to take me a lifetime.
God, beautiful.
My
That's amazing. That is
Oh.
amazing.
Okay, demo.
Wow.
How pieces have you got in there?
The,
My goodness.
how many pieces, Ray?
There's,
So many he had
two
right.
thousand four hundred and sixty pieces, but who's
Oh.
counting?
Wow.
It's absolutely wonderful. looking.
Jesus.
It's
The only word that comes to
approximately,
mind is stunning.
12 inches across, 5.5 inches tall. And it's got Wingay, maple, bloodwood, yellow heart, purple heart, and just a little mahogany in it.
Man. Man.
That's gorgeous.
Well, I'm glad I didn't have to show after
Yeah.
that.
You know, Ray,
It's
you're
got
one of the,
72 pieces in each row.
yeah.
And
Wow.
of course, the angle, if you were putting it on the top, is 5 degrees. The little segments, I'm down to, I think it was 3 degrees combined. And it was difficult to look at the little pieces, put them on, and I almost had to use my micrometer to put them on correctly. So 2 rows a day when I was out there in the shop was all I could do. And my fingers would get sore and I'd have to quit. The other thing is you've got to concentrate so much on the colors and where they go and how they go. It gets a little, it gets tiring.
Hey, hey, Ray. Hey,
Yeah.
Ray. How many rows would you say that you put together and then you turned on the lathe, and then you put together, then turned on the lathe?
I probably put about 10 rows on
at a time.
I only turn the center. I wait till the very end to turn the outside. But
Right.
every 10 rows, I'll cut off eight and then all the way up to the top.
I'll tell you.
There's 30.
You've got more patience than me.
There's 33 rows of 17. I'm sorry, 33 rows of 72 segments. So you can do the calculations, plus the inside and the bottom is segmented, and that's 48 pieces in the bottom segmented in that center medallion.
Oh my goodness.
Got 24 pieces in it. So
Wow, that was nice, Ray.
thank you, Bob. I appreciate it.
Totally amazed.
How small is the smallest piece of that?
The ring size is 0.15 in thickness. Each one of those rings is just 0.15.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so holding those, getting them glued in there.
Right.
Man.
It's a challenge.
I'd
How
have
in
to
the
do
world
that
do you,
with them.
how do you,
So aside from how outstanding the bowl looks, so one observation I've always noticed with you is you're one of maybe 5 people I can count on my hand, probably less than that actually keep proportions in line with your segments. Because that's always been my hang up on folks that do segmenting. They're big and clunky. The artwork looks nice on it, but beyond that, the rest of the vessel just doesn't look great because
Yeah, I don't like.
the proportions aren't there. You always nail the proportions, and my hat's off to you for doing that.
Well, thank you very much. I think a lot of people, well, they're usually just starting, and their segments are just too thick. And they'll have maybe 10, 15 rows to make a 6-inch bowl in height. And I think that's where it starts looking clunky. And then they're not taking the thinness down. This here is 3/16 thick. And I cut it at about 1200 to 1400 RPM.
Wow.
That seems to work best for me.
Yeah.
Did you use a skew?
I do use a skew.
Oh my God.
I do
I was
use a
taking-
skew, especially on the outside. I'll use a skew down towards the bottom. Along the upper side, then I use a different type of a tool altogether, and I forgot what the name of it is, but it's basically a tool that I make out of that they use in metal cutting and
An Olean tool.
Olan, right? It is an Olan tool,
Okay.
and
I know
you
you're
gotta
not
cut
using
it
carbide
fast
on it.
so the little pieces don't get caught in it. And I will use a carbide to do some smoothing out.
Yeah.
And
Wow. Who would have thought that?
How in the world do you take a piece of wood that's 3/8 of an inch square and put a 1/16 of an inch glue on both ends and not get in the holes? And, everybody laughs at me when I say this, but if I glued that up, I'd have glue all over the place.
That's what I said.
I would
Well,
too,
look at
Jim.
me.
what I do is I use tight bond, quick and thick. And I'll take that little piece and use my finger and a very thin coating on that. And then that's placed on it. And it takes about 3 to 5 seconds till I move on to the next piece. And there really is no squeeze out. As you can see, I never went in and cleaned any of those.
So you coat the whole side of the piece.
It would be the bottom of the piece.
Yeah.
Because,
Okay, great. Okay.
okay.
Make my day.
Yeah. And you just keep building on it. And then I actually sand every ring flat before I put the next on. And then as you're spinning it, you can just watch and see that each row is on there perfectly.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd love to do a demo. Have you got 3 months to watch it?
Yeah, make a demo of that. But, you can cut the demo down, Ray, you can, like I do, it takes a while to make these things and you can just do a certain segment of it and go to the next one.
I suppose you're right, Bob. Why don't you come up here to New Mexico and help me with that?
Yeah, I'd like to.
Right.
That'd take too long, 3 months.
Watch
Wouldn't be
what
very
you
exciting.
say, Ray.
Bring a
Watch
pillow,
what you
Bob.
say. Watch what you say.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyhow, I hope that I'll be taking this one to the New Mexico State Fair, and I'm looking for another blue ribbon and best of show.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, pretty.
Heck yeah.
You should
That's
get
all I've got. Oh yeah, I got one other thing this show. Everybody needs a box to put all their goodies in.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Like
it.
that logo. Like that
Yeah.
logo.
Sure.
And by the way, that is thanks to Bob. And I got that off the website as an SGV file and put that on my laser.
Cool.
So
That'll
thank
work.
you for watching, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate all the comments. Thank you.
Super job. Ray.
Bet. All right, let's go back to Bob and see if he's got
He's
things
gonna
sorted out.
mute everybody.
Yep, let me mute him now.
All right, now let's see if we can't do this a little better. Share the screen here. Oh, one thing he was talking about the segments, getting glue or not getting glue in here.
If you do get glue in here in these holes, I use those dental little, I forgot what you call them, but the little dental brushes. It look like little bottle brushes, and dip them in water, and then you can run them back and forth in here to get the glue out if you get it in there. But again, this is what I want to do tonight. And again, it's not a whole lot to turn because all you're doing is knocking the edges down. So I don't really show a lot of turning. It's more the process of putting this thing together and making a bowl out of it. So let me get that started. Let me share the screen, and let's see here. Here we go. And they run and make a 3-layered segmented bowl with a floating bottom. There's a picture of it, the top, the bottom, the side. So let's get started. Start out all my segmented stuff this way. Start out with a graph and draw out the shape of the bowl. And then I color in the segments, for each ring. But in this diagram, you can see that I have the angles set. I actually go in and show how long each piece is going to be, the size of each piece. And I write that on here so I can take it out to the shop and use that as a cut list. I'll have all my stock cut out for my bowl. It doesn't take a whole lot of material for a segmented bowl. This one here is going to be a, was it 5 rings, 6 rings? The bottom ring is the 6th ring. And that's a ring only because it's going to be a floating base. So this little piece right here is going to float in the middle of it. But other than that, that's it. It's just getting you a cut sheet like I have here. And, it shows, I've tried to figure out how long the piece of each one of these rings I need. And that's it. That's all it's got. So let me start cutting the segments up and we'll go from there. Well, let me show you a few pieces here. There are several, different ways to do this. There's lots of different ways. Mine, I've tried them all. This is since I don't do it every day, then this is what I usually use. I have a simple fence. It fits on my miter gauge here, and it'll slide back and forth. With this T slot, you see the T slot in here, so it can slide back and forth. And I do have sandpaper on the side that the piece is going to run on. And that's to hold it so it won't slide when the blade hits. So I'll put this on here. And the other part is a 2-part thing here. The other part of it is this piece goes on the table saw itself with a blade guard or the blade, what do you call it? But the blade comes up through here. So when the piece is cut off, it'll hit this 45 and just slide off. So that's a piece that's easy to make. You just make an insert. You just make an insert for your table saw and put a little 45 piece on here just so that the piece, whenever it hits it, will slide off of it. So let me get it set up. But to set it up, I use a deal called a miter set. If I can get it right here, can you see that? It's called a miter set. It's very accurate with some different attachments here. It has basic angles already set, already put in here. If you want to get it off to a 1/2 degree or anything like that, you can add this in here. So it can go into 1/2 degrees for 5 degrees. So in our case, we're going to do 15. So let me set this up at 0 and 15. this out of the way. Okay, so I've got it. You put your miter gauge in here, and all you do is slide it up to it. You slide it up to the two pins. You see the pins? So it just slides up to the pins, and you lock it in, and it is set at 15 degrees. And like I said, it's very accurate as long as your saw blade is accurate to the channel that this thing rides in, then you'll have an accurate 15 degrees. So once I get it set, put some pins on here, and I'm ready to go. And I can adjust this fence back and forth to where they cut. It's right here at this edge. Okay, so this is the top ring, the largest ring I have. It's 3 inches. It's pretty large. You know, you've got a large bowl, and I have large segments here. You know, I only have 12 segments per ring. So it's going to be pretty big. So I've got to make that swing through here. And it's going to be about a nearly a 12-inch bowl. I think it's 11.5-inch bowl. But I've got this set up. I've got my stop block on here. I think I've described the stop block before. It's just 2 pieces of wood so I can get up to the height of this. And it has one of those nuts that you screw in. So I drilled a hole, screwed that nut in, put a bolt in it, and this thing will adjust. I have a screw on this side just to keep that a little nut inside here from coming out. You know, I could have glued it, but screwing it's just as good. So I've got it set up now. So let me cut a couple of pieces. And I just keep going. I keep cutting them. I do mark the top, so I know which side was the top. Because when you come back and you glue them together, you want to alternate them, so that in case that blade is off a little bit, we've got some stuff under it. But in case that blade is off a little bit, it would compensate for the table. I mean, for the blade not being straight up. But that's it. Let me go ahead and cut all these out, and I'll show you how I glue them up. So I take each piece and knock the little fuzz off. Just put a piece of board with sandpaper on. Same one that I use to flatten the rings with. But works pretty good. So that's it. Just a couple of drags across here, and you get all the fuzz off. You just don't want the fuzz to get in the way of the glue joint. It doesn't have to be. Hopefully, it's already kind of sanded in. You don't have to worry about sanding. All you're trying to do is get the scrub. Hey, I got to make some glue blocks here. This is going to be the center of the bottom. It's going to be a floating bottom. So I need to turn it so it's, maybe a little less than 1/4 of an inch thick. And to do that, I'm going to put it on a glue block. And I have flattened this down to where it'll hold it.
And just put some glue in a paper bag, brown paper bag, and stick it to it and put, sandwich it between that bag. A paper bag just allows it to come off easy. Let me do that real quick. Let that sit there a few minutes and then I'll cut that off and line it up on this other one. I've got it cut a little bigger than my 7 inches. I think I want it to be about 7. Anything over 6 inches for a bottom, that bottom's gonna shrink quite a bit. This direction, not with the grain, but the other way. And that's where it'll end up cracking if you don't have it floating. So that's what I'm trying to do. So just a minute and we'll try that one. All right, so I've got that side, the glue on it, setting up. And I just smeared some glue on this one, so I'll try to line it up in my 7 inches there. Spin it around a little bit and let that glue set. About like that right there. Put a little weight on it. Then when I get ready, I can take it off. There's several ways to do that. I could have, instead of putting the paper between it, I could have put that blue tape over both sides, this side and the side of this. And then come back with hot melt glue and put it around it. And then when you pop it off, the glue just comes right, the paper tape, that blue tape just comes right off and you don't have any of the glue sticking. But I'm gonna try this paper for this one. Okay, I need a second glue block for the actual bottom of the vase. And the bottom of the vase is that last ring is gonna be about 9 inches. So I've got a blue block here that I'm gonna make. I'm just making it bigger so the ring will fit on it. But this is just made out of a 1-inch nut. I'll drill down into the wood a little bit, put tape on the bottom of the nut, and then epoxy it in. I do have to have a spacer here for make up room, otherwise it'll bottom out. So I don't want it to bottom out. So that's it. And just run it up there and top it up. Just like that, and let that set for a while, and then I'll have a glue block for the bottom of the mold. Okay, I'm gonna glue the rings up. This is the bottom ring. It's gonna be split and have a floating bottom in it. But they're wide, so any little discrepancy I have in that angle really shows up. So I'm gonna put pins between these just to let it rock, and we're gonna glue 1/2, and then come back and sand it and make the other fit. Let me get this glued up.
And again, this glue is pretty watered down because I want it to give it a few minutes before it actually sets. I want to be able to move it off. And what I'm worried about here is this outside edge. If I get it right, then everything else will follow in place. I don't want to glue that one. Okay, so I'm going to weight it down and so it'll sit flat. Let that dry, and then we'll come back and sand those two ends and straighten it up. Okay, so now I just need to sand them a little bit and get them flat. Okay. So it didn't take a lot to make them flat, and then now I can glue those two edges together, and I'll have a perfect circle. have all the free rings. I only have 3 rings that are true rings. And so I have them sanded on a drum sander. And you could just as easily have done this on flat. This is what I used for years before I made the drum sander. But it's a 12-inch platen, and you can hold them up here like, by hand like this if there's big enough. Or if you think there's too much pressure where your hands are, put it in a Longboard chuck or something and hold it up against it. But all you do is hold it up against it and sand it till it's flat. So anyway, that's what I do. This is my drum sander I made. That's out of a 4-inch piece of PVC. Put it up here, made the frame, put it up here, and then trued it up because they are a little out of round. So I trued it up and put the grizzly sandpaper and Velcro on here. I haven't changed it. It's just been probably 6 years, and I haven't haven't had to change this at all. But I'm not doing panels. I'm just usually doing smaller pieces, but it's lasted a long time. But it's something you can do on any lathe as long as you have room in here to move and flatten up and down around your stand. Anyway, I do have other videos showing this, explaining more about it, or if you have questions, let me know. But that's just it on, if you don't want to buy it, that was my problem. That I don't like to buy anything if I can make it. So I made a drum sander. Okay, I've got my bottom ring glued up. Got it sandwiched with paper onto a glue block. And then I'm just going to let that dry so I can turn it. Got the first ring glued up on here on a glue block. And so all I need to do is to round it and round this inside out. Get it round and part it off. I want to try to part it off about a third of this top off, leave 2/3 left, because I am going to make a dado, I guess if you want to call it that, in this piece that's still on here, so I can put my bottom in. I've got to create a small thin bottom that I can sit in here and then glue these 2 halves back together. All I want to do right now is to kind of get it a little round. Still see a little bit here. So we want to go a little deeper and just make it a little rounder. I want it as wide as I can get this. Okay, so that looks good. Now I need to sand this smooth. Make sure that this surface is flat. Because once I cut it off, I'm gonna flip it around and this becomes glued up against this one. So let me sand that flat a little bit. If we want to see it, so I am gonna mark it a little bit, just kind of put some chalk on here. Make sure I'm trying to get all the high spots. It looks good right there. Try this. And again, I want it to be about 2/3. That looks good. Looks great. So while I have it here, I can go ahead and sand this side flat. That. Have a lot of room to make in this bottom, so ring is not very thick. So this other, the bottom in here can actually be super thin. Okay, so I've got like a 3/16 ring in here. How wide is it? I don't know, maybe a 1/2 inch or 5/8. Probably 1/2 inch wide. So that ought to be plenty. You do need this surface flat, so let me see if I can do it. see it's not. This inside edge is not as decent. Okay, so now it looks better. Right, so that's good. So I have the actual bottom that's in here, and I need to cut this down to 3/16 so it'll fit in this slot that I've got. And make sure that this surface is flat when I do it, because it's going to go upside down in here, and that will become the actual bottom of this mold. So I need to cut all this away and down to about 3/16. So I've got it the right size, so now it fits in here, and it's still a little thick, but that's okay. I want to sand this side. I want to glue it in here. You don't really glue it, you do it in 2 spots. But anyway, I want to glue it in here, and then go ahead and sand the other side black. So it's a little thick, but it'll be fine. With me to sand. Again, I'm going to check it for flatness, and yep, that's pretty flat up here. Now, like I said, it's still too thick, but that's okay. I can come back and straighten that up a little bit right now, but I went all the way through a while ago and pulled it edge. Now I can put it on here and kind of look at it and see thickness. All right, yep, that's just about right. I've got probably less than a 32nd still sticking out over here. So I just need to put it in here and then take the rest of it down to where it's flat. We finish sanding this side. Still need a little more in the middle. Okay, so now it's just popping it off the paper. So let me try to do that. Came off pretty good. All right, I need to glue this in here, but I'm only gonna glue it at two spots. And they need to be in grain. This way it's gonna shrink more in this direction. So you glue it at the two spots or the two halves here. So I want to, no glue on this, but I wanna go ahead and finish this. So I don't have any glue anywhere else. I just want to, finish this side right here. And this one, but, just here, not where the tape is. So let me put some CA glue on it and let it dry a little bit and we'll put it together. So I have a finish on here, except for these two places. And I'm gonna put a little glue on here, just on this edge. So that it, and then press it up in here to where it just sits in here. Just like that, and press it in and let that dry. And then when I come back, I wanna make light cuts and clean this inside out. This is gonna be the actual inside of the bottle. So let me put a little glue on it. It glued a little runny, but for this purpose, I think it'll be fine. I'm gonna take a lot of glue. Just you don't want a lot. You don't want a lot of squeeze out when you put it in here, because you'll see it. Yeah. Doesn't matter about the orientation here. You just want it. Where it fits now. And leave a little gap all the way around it. And that's about what I got. All right, so let me let that set up. And then we'll come back and finish this surface and then glue the two halves together. Okay, so I have the block glued in here. So again, this is my bottom. And put a ring on it. So I've got to take this down to where it's flush all the way across here. Flat bottom. It's not very thick, so I really can't scoop it out. You see what I mean? The center is still high. I can just sand that. It's pretty good. Yeah, I have the second ring glued on. Actually, this is the next to the bottom ring. It's pretty wide, but it is now glued on here. This first one is split. This is where the bottom is, and that right there is the next ring up. So that's gluing, and in a few minutes, it's been on there in about, I guess, about another 10 minutes. I'll start turning that a little bit and go ahead and flatten it, and then put on the next rings. All right, so it's been about 15 minutes, and I want to just knock these edges off a little bit, just to kind of round it out where I can see where it is. Okay, see, it's just a little bit off, but that's okay. That's the way these rings usually work. They're usually not exactly in place or exactly round. You know, sometimes they're oblong rings, but that's looking pretty good. Let me go a little further. Okay, and like I said, all I really want to do is to establish where that round ring is. So that when I come back and start putting the other sections on here, I can see that edge back here, see how much it overlaps. All right, so let me get this sanded, and we'll go again. The next three rings are open segment rings, which means you have to index them. And there seems to always be lots of questions about an index ring. And so let me kind of explain it a minute. It's usually, it's a platen like this, just a platen, and somehow you put it on your lathe. Mine has a 5/8 inch shaft on the lathe, so that's what this goes in. This end over here would actually go in and hold another piece if I wanted to use it, but right now I'm not using it that way. I'm just using it as an index wheel. It's just going to turn the piece of wood and index it. Okay, so on its index wheel, it has 4 rings. As you can see here in the chart, they always give you a chart. These are the rings, A, B, C, and D. And in those rings, if you pick out the specific, like I want 12 segments, right? So I go down here where it says 12 on ring C, and it says to skip every 3 rings. So that's what I've done. I've taken painter's tape and cut it in little strips and marked out 12 segments. But as you can see, there are 3 dots in between each one. So I can get the number of segments or the number of spots around this ring. If I go to a different ring, I could have used the first ring out here, the very top ring, A. I could have used it. A has 60 holes in it, but I could have divided that up by 5, every 5th hole, and that was another 12. So I could have just as easily have used that very last row. I just didn't happen to do it. But anyway, that's an index ring. This one here came from FluteMasters.com. You can buy them at chefware.com. You can buy them, lots of different places. I like the ones that are flexible. I do have a larger one at 192, I believe, and it's made out of aluminum, so it's not real flexible. I like the flexible ones because I can just push it back and go to the next hole. It has a little pin. Do I have it? No, I don't have that here, but there's a little pin that actually holds this in that spot every time. So you would turn it to the different pin every time. When I do, all I'm going to do is just to flex this back a little bit so I can grab another hole. So that's the index wheel. Let me show you the platform that I use for the open segments. This is on Earl's small segment shop. It's not exactly this design. This was my design. He has a platform that he uses, and chefware.com sells his design. It's with Earl's small segment shop.com. I mean, yeah, .com, but it's also Earl's small segment shop on YouTube. But anyway, I made mine out of a $5, whatever you call this thing, a ruler, where something that you buy at Walmart. This is where I got mine. It's about $4.95. But the main thing about it is that it holds the piece. You hold it like this, and I can adjust this back and forth to like a 5-inch ring, a 5-inch in radius ring. My piece goes up against this. So every time my piece is going to go up against this and fit on the wood and glue on the wood. So that's it. There's nothing special about it. I just happen to be able to weld it on here. Like I said, his is made out of wood. You could make one out of wood easily. It doesn't have to be this. The main thing is that your ruler has to be at the center of this rod that I have. This is held by a Jacobs chuck on mine. I mean, you could do something else, but in my operation here, I just use a Jacobs chuck to hold this. So the center of it is where you want the center of your ruler to go to. So when it's 5 inches, it's 5 inches to the center. And that's it. So let me put it together and show you how to start this. All right, so let me show you what I have here. This is the block that has a pin in it that's gonna hold the wheel as it goes around at the 12 locations. I just have my glue block on here, the base of the bowl, and then the ring, and now where I'm gonna start gluing on the open segment. And go from this side, and you can see where I've taped off and have a pin sticking through. So I would pull it out and go to the next hole that's marked for the next segment. But right now, what I want to do is I do have my little platform set up here. I'm holding it with my tool rest, a Jacob's chuck, and then you can move this back and forth to get the distance that you want. So what I would do is I adjust this to the distance this next ring is supposed to be, which means a 1/4 of an inch overlap over this one. So I put this up here, I put the angle on here, put it up here, and I hold it right there. And I would unpin it and go to the next one and hold it. And that's pretty much it. Okay, it's pretty simple. All you do is you put a little glue on here. Doesn't take much. It's thick and quick is pretty thick. And you put it up there and hold it. You only have to hold this thing like 2 or 3 seconds. It doesn't take long. Just need to make sure that it is, this part is always flat. Okay, and then I index the wheel to the next one. Glue on it. Hold it. You can already see that my angles are off, but I don't think it's gonna matter. I still get the spacing, and you're only gonna have a little bitty window there to see that thing. Now I just want to sand this. All right, I'm ready to do the next 2 layers. But the next 2 layers, because of the way this thing is made, I'm just gonna hold it up here and eyeball the distance to make sure that it's even between each one of these. And it should be about 1/4 of an inch. I just wanna hold it up here and glue it, and I'll turn it and glue the next one. I don't need this platform to do that. But this is all because of the design I'm trying to get out of it. If it had been, you know, something else, really an open segment range here, and every one of them would have had to be. So all I do is hold that up there and try to get it exactly where the other one is for about 5 seconds and just let it set. A little squeeze out of the blue, but not much. And try to get it centered. Go to the next. Doesn't take a whole lot of glue. All you're just trying to do is to stick it on there. So you just eyeball it and get it the right distance apart. Go to the next. Once you hold it there for a few seconds, it's not going to move. Here I have the feature ring created, and it's consists of 3 pieces here, 3 layers. And now I've got it sanded, so all I've got to do is to glue this one on here, and I should be able to turn it. So it's looking pretty good. It's going to be a 3-layer bowl with the Crocs in the middle of it. So let me get this ring glued on, and we'll go from there. You only want to glue between these lines. This is where the crack is, and you don't want glue on that. So I just want to glue this, and glue it in here, and put it together. So now it's just a matter of rounding it out. So first you start off knocking these corners off. And basically you want to work from this end, from the outside down, taking it down. But let me knock a few of them off. Let's look at it. Okay, I have the inside turned too. I turned the outside first, got the shape that I wanted, and got it down just where I wanted it. Now it's just, I still got to do the base. I haven't done it yet, but I've got the shape of the bowl made, and I have the inside turned. I hope you can see that. Let me put it on some light here. Nope, that didn't work. So anyway, but that's the inside of it turned, and I'm ready to sand this thing. Okay, it's time to get this thing off of here. So all I'm doing is tapping it around and breaking that paper apart. Good. All right, so I sanded the bottom, signed it, and put Krylar on it. I wanted Krylar because I was afraid that if I put CA in it, I couldn't get it inside the little cracks here, and I sure couldn't buff it out. So I went ahead and sprayed Krylar on it, and I think it turned out pretty good. So anyway, that's my bowl. A little three ring with a split ring base and a floating base in the bottom of it. But that's it. Thanks, guys. All right.
Very nice.
Great
Well
job,
done,
Bob.
Bob.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Amazing.
That was very enjoyable.
Well, good. These are easy to make.
You just showed that.
But they are easy to make, and they make any size you want. They're not complicated. You could have made these blocks smaller if you wanted them smaller. But in this case, I didn't need it, and it worked out easily to put all the little crosses in.
Right.
Hey, Bob,
Yep. Go ahead.
I loved this demo, but I really wanted to thank you for all the stencils and everything else you've made for our site, all free to our members. And without you, they wouldn't be there. So I truly thank you.
All right. Thanks. No problem. Oh, by the way, this I did send the little cheat sheet for this to Dave and pictures of it, so he should have that on the webpage somewhere.
That would include the measurements and stuff.
Sorry, go ahead, Sue.
That would include the measurements and
Brenda.
angles and stuff that you cut each of the blocks.
Right, yeah, all the angles and the link to the blocks and then the total of each segment, how long that piece of wood had to be to get all those segments out of it. And they're not like 35 inches or 38 inches long for each ring, so it's not a lot of wood here.
Wow.
You make it out of scrap pieces. I go to a mill. They have a mill here close to us, and where they're dimensioning wood, out for contractors, and they have a lot to throw away. So at the back of the building, they have all these big piles of, 1 inch, 3/4 inch to 1 inch thick, and maybe an inch, maybe an inch and a half wide, and that's plenty enough to make these out of.
Great.
I love that combination square hack, Bob. That was awesome.
Yeah, that works great. It doesn't work great when you get small little pieces like Ray had. You've got to come up with something else. They're just too small to try to hold and put in here. I mean, you can do it, but I've just never wanted to go that small with it. 24 segments is about as small as I like. So
You need a microscope.
Oh, did we send it?
Yeah.
Nice.
yeah, you gotta get pretty small. And even I forgot what the guy's name is. There's a guy that goes to SWAT and he shows you his demo with SWAT. And boy, his segments are just super small. I don't know how he does it. I couldn't do it. It's just too little.
That's Tom Lehman, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yep.
I do use his design. In fact, the one I showed tonight was one of Tom Lehman's designs.
Yeah, they're real pretty designs. They're just little bitty pieces, and man, some of his are a whole lot smaller than Ray's. It's just unreal how small he gets them.
He goes 90, 92 per ring, something like that on some of that stuff. And he does it all on a chop saw.
Does he?
Word.
I'd be losing the pieces.
Yeah, I'd never be able to find the segments.
Yeah, snip, that's for sure.
Bob, when you were separating those two pieces, what speed were you turning that at? Do you know?
Probably 1,000, 900.
Really?
Everything I do is about 900. Even turning the inside of these bowls and the outside, you're not turning a whole lot. And I do use an Olan tool a lot for the center, for the inside. The outside is usually a roughing gouge. I mean, not a roughing gouge, a bowl gouge. But You know, you're not, if you use an Olan tool, they're only like 3/16 of an inch wide tip. So you're not cutting off a lot of wood at a time. So you can take your time and it doesn't jar the wood a lot. And anyway, it works real well.
When I was making my picture frames,
Mhm.
a couple of them, you know, I had a nice thick board. And I thought, well, if I can cut that thing in half, I can make 2 picture frames out of it.
Sure, sure you could.
Yeah, well, one of my picture frames ended up too thin, and I was using a thin parting tool, and it kept getting real hot and burning.
Yeah, well, when you start putting that parting tool in there, if you tilt it a little bit, just rock it, then it makes the actual cut a little wider.
I did that too.
Oh, okay. It's still got,
Yep, yep. But yeah, finally I got down to the last 2 boards, and I just put them in the floor. I didn't cut them in half.
You gotta keep that tool sharp too.
oh yeah, you got to keep the tool sharp.
Yep, I kept using my honing stone, whatever.
Yeah.
That didn't help much either.
Yeah. Maybe you're taking too long. Maybe you need to be a little more aggressive and take more wood off.
I don't know, but like I said, I finally decided I just put it all in the, make it shavings. I only got one frame out of the last board.
That's why I don't do burls. You know, you pay a lot for burls, and you end up with most of it in the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to do them. But
I
anyway,
enjoyed your video.
well, thanks. I'm glad you did.
I only do burls if I get the wood for free.
There you go. Yeah.
Right.
You said the reason you split the floating bottom and split that was so because of the stretching and stuff.
It's because of the width. You know, anything over 6 inches, or that's what everybody says. I don't know. I made some with 6 inches or 6.5 inch bottoms, and nothing was wrong with it. But they say that anything over 6 inches wide, then you need to put a floating bottom in here. So this thing really floats. This little piece can move around. It doesn't because it's wedged in here, but it can move because your grain, it's going to shrink, and it shrinks not the length of the grain, not this direction. It shrinks more this way, you know, sideways. Like the straws in here, the straws get smaller and not necessarily shorter.
Okay.
But that's the reason you're doing that. You can split this ring, and you can see the split ring here. So you split this ring and then sandwich this thing in the middle of them, between those 2 rings.
Right. Yeah, when you got to that part, I'm like, that looks like those picture frames I'm making.
Yeah, right. It's about the same thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've made several of these, and I'll probably make several more.
Well,
Wrong
nice
with
job.
that.
Yeah. I'll probably give those away for Christmas this year. You know, every year I try to give all the neighbors something, and I'll probably make 7 of them and give them away for Christmas presents.
Good neighbor to have, Bob.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I need to do something with them. I don't want to keep them all, so I need to give them away.
Right. So did anybody else have any questions for Bob?
Oh, no, just gotta tell him it was a very enjoyable evening, that's for sure.
All right, well, good. I'm glad you liked it. Here's
Yeah,
my
it was
logo. This is
very
my embroidered logo on the shirt, and
Yeah, I noticed that. Looks great.
Oh yeah.
turned out great.
I also noticed your shoe covers in that video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
I have to have shoe covers. I got so tired of trying to get sawdust out of my shoes, and
Your
if I did,
socks.
and if I didn't take them
How do
off,
you keep it on top of your socks?
yeah, and off the socks too, yeah. But yeah, those shoe covers work great.
Yep. I'm loving mine already.
Good.
Thanks to Bob.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, I think there was somebody else on this show. I had some that I had made out of a lighter weight material. And then somebody else showed theirs on here. I've forgotten who it was. And they had a little heavier material, and that's what I did. I finally made it out of a heavier stuff, but it was the same design, the same thing. But those shoe covers are easy to make. Just make them out of something like even a blue jean material or something that's heavy enough to where you can kind of shake it out. You know, the other one that I'd made them out of was t-shirt material the first time, and it worked okay. It's just I liked it a little thicker than that.
Canvas would probably work very well.
Yeah, canvas would probably work well. This that I have now is made out of. It's a material that you cover, you know, seat of a chair or seat or a cushion or something with. It's a little heavier stuff.
Got a use for them old busted up tarps.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Anyone else?
I just wanted to ask Bob is when he's going to come up here to New Mexico and help me doing some photographs.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I didn't. It's probably too far. I don't like to drive much, so you know, drive around here. But you know, you go on a long trip, I just soon fly somewhere. But that's a
Well, we have an airport.
Probably take me 8 hours. You know, it's a long way to that border. But otherwise, I'd like to come out there. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see you make that bowl you got there.
I got to come up with something new.
Yeah. Different pattern, you know.
But basically, I do the same thing as you're doing. I use an index wheel and everything. I do use the platform from Chef. What is it? Chef Field or Chef?
Where?
Chefware. I'm sorry. That's what.
Chefware kits.
Yeah, and that's what I do use.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you do use the same platform, kind of like what I got there with that combination square.
Yes, it is exactly.
Okay.
And
you can do that with the small ones. I thought you probably had one of those jigs that you know, you put spacer, or it actually has spacers in them built into the jig. But
no, it's exactly what I use is Chefware.
Yeah.
And for the indexing for the width of it, the little brass things they use on carpenter square,
Yeah.
that's what I use, and that way it doesn't get in the way of the next row that I'm doing. Because it's
Sure.
very small.
Yeah.
The indexing wheel must have needle holes in it or something to get down that small.
Yeah,
this is a 12-inch wheel, and it goes up to 192 holes, and it's got about 5 different rings on it that you do to select, just like Bob's flexible one does. But mine's stainless steel.
Yeah, mine, I don't know if I bought it from Chefware or not, but mine's metal. I'm not sure it's stainless steel, but but it is metal. It doesn't flex as well. So you have to pull the pin out every time, and which is okay. You just have to have something. I did come up with another thing instead of a pin that you pull out. You saw mine with a pin in a stick, and it made it kind of hard to pull it in and out because it's tight. But I did use a piece of just a piece of rod, like a 1/8 inch rod, and bent it and did the same thing. You know, but you can pull that rod in and out because it will move, it'll bend. So you can pull it out and then it'll just spring back into the hole again wherever you want to index it. But that works better. I'm using that.
Chefware Kits sells a spring-loaded pin that you can replace the standard pin with the spring-loaded one. Also, Dane and I had a kind of discussion. I don't know, it was a couple months ago, Dane. I don't know if you remember that or not. Yeah, about similar sort of springy indexing wheel mechanisms to make that easier to use instead of having to pull the pin out and put it back in every time. And the spring-loaded ones work better.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's what I use, is the spring loaded, and that works real well. And you know, you just don't want to mess around when you're doing like 72 or 48 segments. That's a lot of pulling them pins out. So that spring loaded works real well.
Sure.
Right.
I bet. I saw that and I almost bought one of those, and of course online, and I'm not looking at it, so I don't know how much slop is in that pin. I was just afraid there was too much slop around the mechanism, when it slides in and out. But anyway, if it works, that works great. That'd be a good idea.
Well, I bought the index wheel from him, and that pin is just almost perfect.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I have the Iron Fire one like you do, Bob, and I
Mhm.
know that you can't buy it anywhere anymore. And the mechanism seems kind of flimsy when you first set it up, but it's really precise too.
Oh
So
yeah,
I've been very happy with how precise that is.
yeah.
But I just
Yeah.
and if I could buy another one, I would.
No, can I come in?
Yeah.
How are you cutting each one of these segments? What
It,
kind of a blade is it?
Is
it's
that me? I use what they call a wedgie sled on my table saw.
I understand the sled, the blade.
I use an 80 tooth thin kerf blade on all my little pieces. And I can't use a bandsaw because you tend to get
Right,
little
right.
serrations along the side, and that just doesn't work well.
No,
no.
I understand. I understand the the wedgie sled and how everything is. Yes, that's got to be pretty small to not like shatter and stuff.
Well, I don't know. I use a 62, so it's not that. It's a standard blade that I use on my table saw, but and it cuts it nice and smooth, and as long as it's sharp, I don't have a problem with it.
Hey, Scott, I would encourage you. There's got to be somebody in your club who does segmented. I would encourage you to go visit their shop for an hour and say, let's do some small segmented stuff. I want to see how it works and see how he does it.
Mhm.
Because it's, you would be surprised at how precise that is.
Hey, Ray, when you get the little fuzzies off, do you tumble yours, the little pieces?
Yeah, I used to try to sand those, and my fingers would bleed from
Yeah.
trying to sand them. Now I take them and I put them just in some microwave dishes, and I put a cut top on that, and then I just shake the devil out of them, and that pretty much takes off all those little fuzzies, and I don't normally have to. The only one is Wenge, and it always tends to have a spear or something on it, and you have to knock it off. But most of them, the little fuzzies come off.
I bought a tumbler, and that works real well. A rock tumbler, and from Harbor Freight, and the bigger one they had, and it works real well. You just let them tumble and pull them out, and all the fuzzies are gone.
The other secret I found was on that 80 tooth blade, I clean it once a week. I take it off and I put it in a flat pan and some cleaner in there, and I let it soak overnight and get that any pitch off of that. Unfortunately, if you don't, it tends to grab those little pieces and fling them across the shop.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I used to I made a wedgie sled, or like a wedgie sled, and for the little pieces I like it better, only because mine goes all the way across the blade. It's on both sides of the blade, and it had one wiper on it. And I like it better for the small pieces, because when I cut it, the small pieces stays on that platform, because it goes across both sides of the blade. And so when I want to get them, I can pull it back to me and take the piece off. I don't have to get close to the blade trying to find that small piece.
Hey,
But
Bob, you realize you got a rock tumbler on your lathe, right?
yeah,
I do. And just like he said, you know, you use the Tupperware and stick it on there, you know.
Take a paint can, put your pieces in the paint can, put that between centers off axis and put it on low RPMs. Walk away, have a cup of coffee.
I never thought about doing that. That's a good idea, Dane. Thank you.
Paint can will work great too, yeah.
Yeah. That's how I shake up my rattle can paint. I put it in the 4-jaw chuck and off center and put it on low.
Oh, wow. I got a question, Bob, or a comment, I guess. The jig that you made up to put the rings together,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, the Longsworth chuck.
No, the string jig thingy.
Yeah, the string.
That thing was cool.
Yeah, that works real well. That's that Earl, a small segment shop. That's his design too. And you know, I tried the metal rings. I've tried all different things, and
Rubber
sometimes
bands.
gluing them up 2x2s, and that method works fine on, especially on big pieces like this. It works great. Even down to 24, I can do that too. But that string band on here, that works real well, and it doesn't break on you. It doesn't over tighten. You know, you can just tighten the devil out of it, and it never breaks. You know, you can use them over and over again. If it gets glue on it, who cares? You know, just break it up a little bit, and it still works. Anyway,
And
I like
the reason you separated when you glued that ring together, why was it you separated those two?
You separate it because you know the width of the ring. You know how wide that was. It was like an inch ring, you know, an inch wide. Well, the wider it is, the more you see any discrepancy you have in the angles that you cut. You know, it just shows up more. And so I can put it and let it rock on those two dowels. And you glue up one half and you glue up the other half. And when you let it rock like that, then they all settle in and all the seams go away. All the seams just glue up great. Perfect.
Okay.
And then you can come back and sand only those two edges and make those, you know, sand them down and glue those two together again.
And you end up with practically a perfect circle.
Sure. Yeah. It is not exactly, but it's, you know, good enough for what you're going to do here.
Gotcha. Yeah, I love that jig.
Yeah. That worked great.
Bob, I do use the metal clamps most of the time. I have used that same thing that Earl developed there, and that works good.
Spring clamps, I think that's what
Yeah, yeah. I use big spring clamps even. But I found that using the real wedgie sled and everything, I can do a 48 segment ring. I'll do a test fit with the metal, and I go ahead and glue it up, and invariably it comes out perfect.
Yeah. I have a trouble, and maybe you know, I don't know if it's when I'm gluing the pieces together or whether it's maybe when I'm cutting it. But sometimes I think that it's the pressure that you put on it to glue it together. By the time you get the whole ring, or if you're doing pieces 2x2, you're doing a whole ring at one time with a metal clamp. But I'm trying to do 2x2s or something, and I seem like I can get it where it's not round anymore. You know, you glue it, you put it on that string clamp, and it looks great until I start trying to do it by hand, and then it's the pressure I'm putting on it, or maybe it's how I cut them. I'm not sure, but anyway, it works out as long as you can, you know, glue them up in halves and put them together. Everybody there?
Oh yeah, I'm listening intently.
I
I'm
would just
enjoying the banner between the two of you on what you do.
Yeah. But there's different ways, and I've done them different ways, and you know, and sometimes I do the 2x2 method, and I like that just as well.
On this snowman that I made, that's an open segmented.
Yeah, there you go.
It all these pieces were cut on a regular chop saw.
Oh, no.
How do you catch them?
You,
Yeah.
you tape 5 layers together and you hold it down, make a catch and, cut them. They don't go anywhere.
Hmm.
Wow.
Takes a knack, right?
Right? Exactly.
I've seen videos. Yes, yes, that's a nice idea.
When I make a lot of little pieces like that, I use my shop vac and I suck them all up and I just pull them out of the shop.
I've seen that.
My chop saw ain't nearly accurate enough for that. I use a tape
I bet it is.
Instant tumbler.
Because the one I have is a cheap one from Harbor Freight.
Oh. Well, that's great.
You can also wrap them with, say, 5 sticks with painter's tape and then cut them. They'll all hold together and then you just take the tape off.
That's what
Oh.
I use, the tape.
Yeah. So you're really taping them down.
I found if you put some waste blocks on your table, on your chop saw, on the back and the bottom, where you have no space, they come
Yes.
more even too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pretty cool, though. Pretty cool.
All right, well, good. But y'all need to try that Tight Bond Quick and Thick. That's some great stuff.
It
You don't
is.
all the time because it will grab it pretty fast. But this stuff dries clear, it dries fast, and it holds it. I mean, like 5 seconds, I can go to a next segment on this, and in about 15 minutes, you're ready to turn it. You're ready to go.
Huh. Thick and clear, huh? Yeah, I haven't tried it before. Is it waterproof or is it indoor interior?
Definitely indoor. It is not waterproof at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
I don't work that fast. Never have.
Want something that dries slow so you can move it around.
Got it.
Yeah, if I want to speed it up, I'll move it against itself to make it quick set.
5 seconds. I'm not even started.
Yeah, rub that joint.
Rub
Right.
joints don't work very well.
All right, guys. Bob, that was once again, it was an excellent demo. And Ray, thanks for ad-libbing there at the end on some of your processes. That's some good info for the group.
Thank you.
It's all fun.
All right. Yeah, it looks, you guys make it look like fun. I don't think I would have much fun with it.
It's not that hard, really.
No, it's really not. And at first I thought I wouldn't like it because I thought it was too time consuming. But I found that I do enjoy it because I can do a little bit and, go do something else. It's the same process, but it's a different process. So you fix you do one ring and you go to the next one.
Just kind of retraining yourself, huh?
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Let's go back to Captain Eddie and see what he thought about everything here. Eddie,
I like it. It was a really good demo, really good. Bob had a lot of detail and a lot of technique in it. And that's what we look for. I'm glad he showed us all the little tricks and ideas that he came up with. And it's kind of challenging. I'm thinking Brenda's going to give one of those a whirl pretty soon. I don't think she can hold back from that. And she's pretty much caught up on picture frames. So, let's see what you can come up with, Brenda. Folks, we're having a little fun. We still got about 15, 20 minutes to go for gallery this evening, but don't go away after that because it just gets interesting. That's when it's an open chat and anything you'd like to talk about, and it runs kind of like forever. And it's a good time. It's all of us getting on a tailgate, sitting out in the parking lot and talking wood turning. But I see that SWAT has set the dates for 2024. That's right. Now, booking into hotel rooms is not quite open yet, but I got Tim Hatch keeping a close eye on that. And as soon as it's open, Tim's gonna let us know. Tim's in charge of recovery room. Y'all remember Tim? All right, but it's set for August 23, 24, and 25. That's the last weekend in August. And it's again gonna be in Waco, Texas. In my personal opinion, it is the funnest symposium in the world. That's just my opinion. Go one time and set your opinion because you're gonna love it. You're gonna have a great time there. Now, if you've got an event coming up or you know of an event coming up and you'd like to put on our event calendar, just like Tim put that in our chat tonight, now that Dave Rhodes, our master webmaster, can add that to the world's greatest website on wood turning. And he can put that calendar and that in our calendar. If you have an event like an IRD or a club event or anything like that that you'd like to advertise or spread the word on, remember, we're here to spread the word. All you have to do is put it in our chat. Just type it in. Let us know what it is. Oh, speaking of that, somebody asked tonight, how could I share my my Facebook page or my website or my contact information? Wow, we have a members list. Well, it's called the contact list. We don't really have a members list because everybody in the world can be a member, but we have a contact list. It's open, it's free. And that's the deal. It's open and free. But you don't have to join it. You don't have to give us some information. You don't have to pay a fee or belong to a club. All you really have to do is want to be involved. And whatever you like us to put in our member list, our contact list, keep using that member list because it's a quick term. Whatever you want to use in a contact list, all you do is put it into the chat. Say hi, Captain Eddie Castellan. I'm in New Orleans, Louisiana. Here's my phone number. And really, I can't rattle it off. I don't know my phone number, but on my email address, CAPN Eddie Castellan at gmail.com. But all that'll go in the chat and then I'll submit it. And Dave Rhodes, the webmaster himself, he'll take that and put it into our contact list. You want a copy? Go to our contact thing on the website. Yeah, that website. And go to member list and fill out the form exactly as it asks. No shortcuts. Don't put anything more than is needed in a whole thing. And oh yeah, the subject is Captain, capital C, and then APTAIN. That's the subject. You submit it and you have to wait. Sometimes it takes up to 20 seconds for the computer to shoot you back the most recent updated version of the contact list. If you got an old one, you wonder, how come this guy's name is not on the old list? Maybe it's going to be on a new one. You can always ask for one, the computer will send it to you. And all these little details that keep the robots from getting to that list and bombarding you with advertisements. Now, when we do have our contact list, it's just for us. It's not a commercial venue. It's not to spread the word. I have tried to buy this and buy that and all. That's not what the contact list is. But if tonight we're talking about using a certain degree of tight bond glue to put these segments together, and you like a particular one or you don't like one, put a thick and quick glue or whatever, and you want to share the name of that or where you buy it from, that goes in the contact list. I mean, in the chat. That's free. Put that information in the chat, free. But before you leave, save the chat. If you miss it in a couple of days, our webmaster will put that on our website. You see, we may be the only club in the entire world that every single transaction, every single thing that happens and goes on and is part of this program, this meeting, this club is open and available on our website. That's right. There's no secret meetings. We don't meet hush hush and talk about this and that. No, you hear us talk to each other. It's because we're friends sitting on a tailgate chatting. You want to be part of that? Get on a contact list. If you want to call you or you call us, get on a contact list. That's how this whole thing started. I was at SWAT sitting on the bench by Ruth Niles. And for 4 or 5 days, I answered the same questions day after day after day after day after day. And I realized this venue didn't exist. And I was told it couldn't because of the mighty dollar. How can you make that happen? Who's gonna pay for it? Nobody's paid for it yet. We might be way overdue some places. But we got people like Bob Grinstead. You saw the embroidery work on his t-shirt tonight? Yeah, Bob had those patterns made. Somebody went out and made a burning onto a lid of a box. And I don't do names really well, but they used that pattern that was on the website. If you want a t-shirt screen printed, details are on our website. If you want to buy the stickers, Jim Duxbury, I got your thing about the stickers. I want to send them to you. I killed my printer printing out the newsletter last week. I had to print a whole bunch of copies to actually hand them out to some folks who were too thick to understand, just get them off the website. But I'll get a new printer ribbon in a day or two and I'll print it out and send you some. But folks, if you want to get the stickers, details are on our website. And if you're going to a symposium or a big meeting or a get together, and you want to help us promote worldwidewoodturners.org, get a hold of me, let me know. I'm on the contact list. And my website, I'm not paying for that again. I don't sell anything. I don't put anything on it. So don't look for me on a website, but you can look for me on Facebook, and that's where we see some great art. But as JJ said tonight, if you've got some fantastic art, and I'm talking the art we saw tonight. We saw a segmented piece tonight that'll stop traffic. Didn't you? You saw that piece earlier?
Sure did.
Yeah, that will stop traffic, folks. You got art like that, take a 300 DPI that's the quality of the photograph we'd like to have, and send it to editor@worldwidewoodturners.org. Editor@worldwidewoodturners.org. But do that for all the art you generate, all the pieces. Does it need more than one photograph to explain it? Yeah, send it to us. We'd love to have that. I want to have the secrets, the hidden details. And above all else, if you take pictures during the development of a complex piece, send those. Why? You're helping us help other turners learn how to do this. And if you can hold it, you can turn it. Well, sometimes you really get the brain working about how you hold something, then turn it. Tonight, Al had asked, how many layers do you put in that piece before you turn it? Because they sure in hell ain't gonna build that 2,000 piece and then spin it and try to make it shape. Well, that was part of the secret of how the piece got turned, and a handy note to have. You have that, send it to us. Our job is sharing information. That's why we were created, that's why we're here, and that's why I have such a great time. If you have pictures like the show tonight, stick around. If you want to just sit around and chat, share details, you got a problem, you want to talk it through, this is where you're going to find the wood turners. And we don't have anything to sell, so we're not going to tell you what you have to go buy. You heard it tonight. If I can't make it, I'll figure it out. That's the secret to worldwide wood turners. If I can't make it, I'll figure it out. All right. So with that, we're gonna go back to gallery. If you've got something to show tonight, I really think you need to pop in here and show it to us.
We got a few more people on par.
All right, let's go to it.
All right, let's go up to Wisconsin and see what Scott's got. Hey, Scott.
So I've made some modifications to the picture frame jig. So here it is. So that's the ring that I used to make a jam chuck. So I've cut it up, I mounted it to the coal jaws, and then I cut the slots in it. I cut slots in it. So now that it's expandable. So when you don't get this ring cut perfectly straight, now you can just get it on here. Expand your coal jaws, and now you don't have to worry about hitting your fingers with those nubs that stick out. And you can also set it out a little ways So when you want to cut through, you're not hitting the bolts on the inside of this ring. I just wanted
Yeah,
to
I
show
like
you that I made it an adaptment after making a few of these.
Now
needed to-
you show me.
That's cool, Scott.
Next
Great
evolution.
idea.
So I got this idea after watching a YouTube video by Glenn and Lisa Kilo. They have a YouTube channel, and he makes a lot of wooden chucks that bolt to a faceplate. And he also makes ones that would screw to this sacrificial faceplate too. So it's a good YouTube video if you want to go check them out. How to save money and make wooden chucks, I believe is the name of the video.
Can you put that in the chat, Scott?
Sure, I'll put it in there after I'm done talking. And is Matt still on here? This is what I use when I cut the wrong size tenon on my bottom of my bowls. It's just a piece of 2-inch PVC pipe with a pipe clamp, and then I clamp it in my jaws to hold it.
That's what I was talking about, Scott.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Scott.
That's cool.
Just another idea.
Yep, I got homemade collet chuck.
Homemade collet chuck. Yep, works
There you
good
go.
too.
Just another one of our geniuses.
Yeah.
No, it's called being cheap.
Yeah.
Right? Frugal.
I
Frugal.
agree,
The
I
word is
agree.
Years
the
ago.
word is frugal, you guys.
Frugal. Frugal.
Frugal. Okay.
We're
I
not
thought the
cheap.
proper
If
term
you
was
guys
fruit.
want to, you guys want to see what the quick and thick looks like, this is the quick and thick. I've got at least 2 bottles within reach of me here right at the moment, and there's more in the shop.
I tried to pick some up
More
at
in
Home
the shop.
Depot the other day. They don't have it.
My ace sells it too, so
Lowell
and-
sells it.
yep. Everybody sells it.
Amazon.
Everybody but Home Depot.
You know, maybe you have a small Home Depot. They don't, some of these are smaller and they don't carry everything, so.
Yeah, in my experience, anybody who carries Tight Bond also carries the quick and thick. I'm pretty sure I bought some at my Home Depot too.
I didn't see any anywhere on the shelves. There are no empty spots for it. I picked up a gallon of Type Bond while I was there. They have 1, 2, and 3. They just didn't have quick and thick.
Finishers in the house building business use it to hold crown molding up till they get to the other end and start nailing it.
Yeah, there you go.
Good idea.
Hmm.
All right. Let's go to Mr. Alabama. What's up, Howard?
Uh-oh.
Great, Howard.
Hey, Howard.
Hey, hello.
That's gonna be something huge.
Hey,
How y'all
Roll Tide.
doing?
Good, Howard. How are
Roll
you?
Tide, yeah. Got killed tonight. But anyway, a couple weeks ago, I went to the Tennessee Symposium up in Nashville, and I put those stickers all over the place on the lathes and
I saw that.
everywhere. And I talked to several dozen people about it and everything. And I looked through who was on tonight, and none of them that I talked to was on. So anyway, I'll try my best. But anyway,
I appreciate it.
I got a
Oh,
ladder
pretty.
or a wall hanging here. This is mesquite and
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you
There we go.
natural edge.
Oh,
Can y'all see it?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
We see it.
Oh,
Looks
yeah.
great.
Gorgeous.
We're amazed.
There's
There's the back. David.
detail.
Wow.
There's the back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just beautiful.
It is. It's gorgeous.
Yes.
So anyway, it's just got an oil finish on it. So yeah, I love mesquite. Beautiful wood.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. That's all I got.
Nice
All
looking,
right.
Howard.
Thanks, sir, Howard.
I didn't know mesquite got that big. Wow.
Oh, yeah. It's
Really?
big.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Big and tall.
Looks like a police badge.
Joaquin, you got anything?
Yeah. Since y'all talking about segmenting, I got a couple of pieces to share. Back in 2014, I was a member of the Segmenters Association. My mentor was the vice president, one of the reasons I was in there, and Malcolm Tibbetts was the president. And he's famous for these ribbons. And so this one is a demo. I lost myself. I can't see me.
There you are.
Okay. And so, it's.
Nope.
This is 3 different bowls, bottomless bowls cut in half and glued together. Now, my mentor did this one, and I won it in a Christmas party, and I have it. Well, he put a challenge out to turn one of these, and I said, well, can you do it in 2 different diameters? And he says, lots of luck. And so I've shared this after hours, but I've never shared it here. But this one here.
Oh my goodness.
It's 2 8-inch bottomless bows and 1 16-inch bottomless bow. And in the 8-inchers, there are 16 pieces. On the 16-inch one, it's 32.
Holy moly, gorgeous.
That is awesome, Joaquin.
I mean, all the different shapes. I mean, every way you turn it, you see something crazy and different,
Wow.
Yeah.
And
ram's horns. God knows what else.
That's what I was thinking, ram's horns.
And I've got
So-
more I haven't done it. I haven't got the wood, but it's
Hey, Joaquin, the question is, what made you go to this shape, that shape, this shape, that shape, this shape? I mean, you know what did you have to do for segmenting?
it's all right. You don't have a bottom, okay? So you cut these out to be a 40. This is like stays, like in a bucket.
Right.
And so you cut them on a 45-degree angle. When you put it together, this bow is a 45 degrees, and you got to use, jam chucks to turn them down. They're 3/4 inch starting out thick, the wood is. And so it just made, I actually saw a picture of this. Bill Ohms did it, but I didn't know how he did it, but it made sense. 8-inch, cut the 2 8-inches in half. This is 2 8-inch bows, 1 16-inch bow, and then cut the 16 in half, and they just fit together. It wasn't all 3/8 of an inch when I come over here at the final glue joint.
I'm gonna have to try that, Joaquin.
Yeah. But I got another one I want to do. It's going to be like a globe. And I want to use 2 different color woods in it. And so anyway, this was really fun to do. I don't do much.
We sent a picture of that to our for our
Gallery.
Newsletter.
Put up a minute.
For the newsletter.
Yeah, the newsletter.
Yeah.
Put it up a minute. Can I get
It
a
probably
picture?
won't get in this week. Joaquin wants me to do a deal on the offset bird.
Oh.
Okay.
And so I'll be doing that and trying to get them to him Friday. And if I got some pictures, I can send them also, but he wants to feature that offset bird.
Right.
But I will. Mhm.
That is
Right
awesome.
on,
Joaquin, that's amazing.
It was fun. I can't wait to get the wood to do this other one I want to do. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. All right. Well, let's see. Gone. Come on. Craig, you out there?
Yep, I'm here.
Are you?
Yep.
Sure?
No.
There
Okay, I got a few things to share tonight. I actually had a really good week, but one of the things that I shared a couple weeks ago was this guy, and I forgot to mention that was a crotch piece. You got a piece there, a piece there. and they met down in this area here. But I've been having a lot of fun with my spalted oak. The only problem I'm finding out is some of the spalting is so pithy. I've got to saturate it with thin CA glue just to make it solid enough to get a smooth surface. But I finally got to make it into something a little bit bigger. This is about a 10-inch diameter. And a little chainsaw effect right there. Left part of that in there. And the bottom. Then I decided I was going to do this with one left and one right, but I thought it would look neater to have the spalting on the bottom on this one and see what the heartwood looked like on top.
Looks good.
Thank you. Thank you. It came out pretty nice.
Another
And
beautiful piece.
I've been using my wood burner to wood burning kit to mark the wood. And a lot of times, especially down the road, I'll forget what wood is what. So I'm actually putting in, like this was spalted oak, so I got that right across in here. And then yesterday I decided I wanted to do something where you had smooth and square in the same piece. And this one here, I got the spalting on the top and the heartwood on the bottom.
I like that.
Very nice.
Nice.
The spalting almost looks like maps to me sometimes. Some of the old-fashioned maps.
Yep.
Yep.
And this is actually a piece of the same tree, but when I stained it, or I didn't stain it, I've used just polyurethane, just letting the natural colors come out. This one was just so much darker for some reason. And one side is a natural edge, and this one here, I was trying to figure out how I could make sure I get the angles. And then I realized when it's turning on the lathe, you get that ghost effect. And I was able to just trim the one edge to the natural edge by watching how close I was getting to that ghost.
Yep.
Yeah.
And almost done. Actually, this one's not finished. So I did this one today.
Gorgeous.
And I still had to finish staining the inside. Boy, that light just really, there you go. But this one here, my lathe, I'm limited to 12-inch, and this came out right at 11 inches long.
You know, with me.
And as far as cleaning the inside of vases or closed devices, I showed this a couple weeks ago, but I forgot to mention a couple things. I went ahead and I turned it down so I could put it in my drill, and that way I could go forward or reverse. And it works out really, really nice. You just take 4 pieces of sandpaper, but you can also make a flapper out of it by just taking a pair of scissors, especially if you've got some of that plastic backed sandpaper, and just go ahead and cut little slots, and it'll actually conform a little bit better to whatever you're sanding. That's it.
There you go.
It's a lot.
Thanks, Craig.
Yeah, this busy week.
All right.
Nice week.
Thanks.
All right, what a program we had tonight. We're after the top of the hour. Let's looks like Captain Eddie already juttered off. So the official meeting is now over with. So now's the time when everybody can pop off and not have to worry about they're leaving without saying goodbye or thinking they're jutting out of the meeting early or anything like that. So the unabridged after hours is going to start, and I will warn everyone, I will not be able to stay up that late tonight. So
Save the chat.
Yeah, save.
those
Anyways,
that
guys,
are still on, save the chat.
Anyways, I would love to know what an Olean tool is.
Yeah, this is Ray. I'll bring some in next week and show you what they look like. I make them myself and they really work nice.
Great. That'd be wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to show this because it's going out as a gift this weekend to a little girl.
Go ahead, Dan.
It's a little magic wand.
Oh, that's
Okay.
cute.
She's 7 years old, so she'll get some fun out of it.
I love it.
Oh, was that you up with iPad 2?
Yep.
Damn it, you've got to start putting your name on there because I looked for your iPad 2 and I couldn't find it.
I did. It's got my name on it. And then I did this up.
Ready? Ooh, nice. I think
It was
smooth.
supposed to be a bowl, but you know, didn't turn out that way.
Just about safe, but
I just like the color in it. And the guy's gonna ask a girl to marry him on Valentine's Day, so he wanted a little ring bowl. And I was making this up and I told him, well, this was too big. And there's an older woman that wanted it, and it stays together, does come apart.
There you go.
cool.
And
You didn't super glue that one together.
yeah. That one turned out pretty nice. And then I made some tools up, just chatter tools. And I'm kind of picky about my handles because some fit good, some don't.
Fancy.
So, and I got some other people that want these, the ones I don't have.
Oh my goodness.
I made 4 of them, and they're really simple to make. This is just conduit, 1/2-inch conduit. And I turned a piece of wood, put a square nut inside it, put a little cap screw in it. The only thing I've got to do yet to them is I just got it in. It's a magnet that I'm going to drill down into it and put a magnet and a Allen wrench in it, so it'll fit the cap screw.
Wonderful idea.
Those are
Wonderful idea about putting your Allen wrench and everything else in there.
Yeah. But it's like, you know, this one here it seems to be nice, but it don't fit my hand. It would fit somebody else's hand that's got a smaller hand, you know. And that's why I say I like, and these don't have to be really strong, because it's just a chatter tool. You're not putting any pressure on it.
What kind of finish did you put on them?
What's that?
What kind of finish did you put on them?
That's what is that stuff? It's spray lacquer, rattle can lacquer.
Wow. Those are
Yeah.
pretty.
I've been experimenting with dye.
Yeah, it looks great.
Now one I thought maybe you used that iridescent paint on.
This one does. It's got, well, it's a shimmer.
Okay.
This is a shimmer paint, but when you're looking at it not through the video, it comes up a whole lot better.
Is it shimmer or that color change paint?
Shimmer. It's not the color change.
What was that color change paint? I forget what that stuff was.
Rust-Oleum. Rust-Oleum, you can get it at Walmart, any of the box stores.
They didn't have it at Walmart. They didn't have it at Lowe's.
Well, they got it at your local Walmart, Brenda.
I ain't going to Walmart.
Well, yeah, I guess you're not gonna get no color change paint.
Michael's, like after that Curry's, and it's called Chameleon Paints.
The other thing I did was I just started turning wood and getting it round, putting it in a bucket for different projects, and I started making finials. So I got a bunch of different finials.
Very nice.
Cool. Very nice.
And I did turn this all with a skew.
Ooh.
Oh, good for you.
There you go.
Nice.
With this is a limb off a tree.
Yeah, they make the best ones.
So I'm
You
sure
got the
she'll
piff in it, or is the piff in it, or is the piff off to the side?
off to the side.
There you go.
Cool.
And
Good
Been a real
answer.
ni-
you'll love this.
been a real nice week to turn, ain't it?
Yeah, been real nice.
Yep.
And it's been
Anyway,
nice,
nice to turn.
A
nice
lot
and
of
warm.
sharing this week and nice.
But that's all I got.
Sure.
Hmm.
You positive, Dan?
Huh?
You positive? That's it. What are you using in your chatter tool?
Actually, I found out something is you can take sawzall blades that are junked up and you grind them down, the sawtooth out of them to, I make trying different things with them right now. Otherwise I'm going to show some designs as soon as I get it done, but take the sawzall blades, you cut them to 3/16, and I'm cutting them right now at 2.5 inches long and 3 inches long. And if you want one that's bent, you got to heat it up and bend it, otherwise it'll snap. So that's what I'm using right now. And there's different size sawzall blades. You kind of want to get the ones that are 1/16 thick, preferably. The other ones will work, but they're thinner, like 1.5 millimeter. So
Yeah, it's about a 16.
yeah, it's just
I want
under.
to see them when you get them done. I got some saw blades I want to do that with.
Okay, yeah, you just take
They
it.
need to be. They need to be bimetal, don't they?
Actually, I've been using the ones bimetal, and I was also using the ones for pruning for trees.
Yeah.
And I'll give a report on that later when I get it, because I don't want to give out any information that's, not very good.
Yeah, right on. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think Scott makes chatter tool out of sawzall.
yeah.
Oh,
Any blade will work. They'll all work.
I made a thin curve parting tool out of it, like Billy Burt
Oh,
did.
that's what you did. Right.
There you
What'd
go.
you say, Cade?
I said any of them will work. They all work.
Any of them will?
Yep. Even
I
if you just buy thin metal.
I bought some butter knives over at the Salvation Army, and I'm going to cut them down and see how they work because they're a little stiffer. You don't want them real stiff, but
Yep.
just to see how they work.
Right.
And I want to put different designs on the ends to see what designs it's going to look good.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, look like I saw Matt Harbor was playing with some new medians for texturing tools also this week.
Thanks. Thanks.
Oh, we're getting a McRib.
It's keeping me busy.
Yeah, getting the barbecue.
Barbecued ribs.
Oh, I thought I was muted. My bad.
You're all good.
Nothing. I'm good. Thanks. I was distracted. Have a good one.